tonight, remember?
So where did you get your 0 of no?
I didn't.
You didn't. So
no, I haven't done that measurement myself.
I
don't know why you're asking me. I would go and have a look at how they made that measurement.
Yeah.
And see if you have an issue with it.
I would say they've dragged it out.
I'm regurgitating someone else's work. So, you know,
got a phone call, Brian.
These are some of the reasons we hold to what we do. You know, and I've given you reasons for why I'm holding up view without invoking space satellites or whatever. Just observations we can make from the ground and reasonable inference. That was obviously a van pickup for him to do. Hey Bender, did you know that Brian says Brian works for a motor car company?
Yeah.
Doing race engines? Yeah, I thought you'd find that amusing. I know that it's a problem, the fact that you interrupted me again in the middle of a sentence, Kimo, and I wish you wouldn't do that. I was saying hi to Bender, I haven't seen him for a while. Is that an issue to you? Why? No one else was talking. There was no other conversation going on. Brian has taken a call. I took a couple of seconds to say hi to someone. Sure. What is your problem, Kimo?
You don't have to explain yourself, Kimo. Don't fucking do that, dude. That's bullshit. That's called
you don't have to expose to lots of explaining to do with running off.
No, we might start playing a game called Fuck with Kimo if you keep up like this.
Chemo,
it's not cool. It's not cool. Chemo, it's not cool to fuck around.
Hold on, Chemo. We played a game, Chemo, and it was Chemo, real quick. Chemo. So you know, we played a game. It was a lot of fun. All right. All right. Well, you know what, Chemo, you know what? It was fun. Chemo, here's the thing. People
Spurs, I was talking to you and you're gone.
Are allowed to have a little bit of enjoyment now and then.
I was talking to you and you weren't even here. Yeah.
So
what are you doing here now?
Fun. We were actually having fun when you weren't here, Chemo.
Brian was running amok, Spurs. Brian was running amok, out of control, talking over everyone, shouting and steamrolling, and you weren't here to sort him out.
Brian
was running amok, and you weren't here to sort him out.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. See you later.
Next time these games are played, Chemo. Next time these games are played, would you like to play too, Chemo? No, but I'm just wondering. Are you mad? Are you mad just because you wasn't part of the games? Or would you like to play too? Well, I'm just saying. Maybe sometimes, Chemo.
Maybe it's you and Branch, Chemo, that crap on about nothing 25% of the time you're here.
Chemo, all I'm trying to say is, next time, maybe you should try to play along
Deaf
too.
as a post and not able to answer.
Well stated, Mippet.
What's the matter, Chemo? You don't like me having a job and not being here to run you off anymore?
Chemo, I'm going to have to leave it with you.
I thought we were talking about...
Oh, the missus is moaning.
You got slapped down.
So, Spurs, what do you think about skateboarding in a top hat? It's something you'd try?
Sounds gay as fuck to me.
Get them on about fucking flying.
Sorry, Chemo, that's a little bit gay to me, bro. Why does this sound good to me and fun to you?
Keep that going for fucking hours and hours.
Sounds gay to me. So if you're wearing one of those type of hats,
nonsense, man.
So hopefully, Brian, you've got some of the reasons why I hold to the views that I do.
Yeah, well, you've been brainwashed. You won't see it because you're too heavily fucking invested in it.
No, I need evidence to change my position, and you guys haven't. No, you haven't. You've
brainwashed or brainwashed,
and you reject it. So it's up to you. I don't give.
No. You've given me claims. You've made lots of claims, Brian. But you haven't provided evidence why it's an issue. It's just your incredulity that you bring out that says it is.
Ding ding, Brian. Rabbit's back. You back, Brian? I heard the ding ding.
That was the microwave. I'm guessing.
It's not the microwave, for fuck's sake.
He plays the triangle in the orchestra, didn't you know?
It's probably a tone on his mobile phone saying he's got a message. That's what I'd probably expect it to be. That would be a reasonable explanation.
Somebody's got some fucking savvy about them.
You see, Brian, I'm maybe not that brainwashed as you think. I maybe, just maybe, consider the possibility that I'm not brainwashed. I have a very skeptical mind, and I need reason and evidence to hold to a position.
I'll tell you what to do then. Get a sphere in a dark room, put it at any angle you fucking want, preferably at 23.4 degrees from the vertical. Shine a single light source on it and see if you can get
Wait a minute.
3/4 of it to light up.
And your homework, don't forget, is to check out scale.
How do you get an angle on a sphere like that?
Of it to light up. Because we know we have. We know we have 18 hours of daylight here, don't we? In the summer, just try and do that on a sphere.
Sure. And
what you'll find is what I found: half of it's lit, and half of it is fucking in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Don't matter what angle you put it at.
Well,
that is correct.
I would say that is
very
correct.
18 hours of sunlight,
but obviously, when you're looking at the top and the bottom of the globe, depending on where the angle of tilt is going, that's going to change the latitudes that we get that sunlight. So there are going to be some places that will get more than 12 hours. That seems very reasonable to me. I will do it. I'll tell you what, Brian. I will do it. I will go and I will make a sphere, and I'll get a protractor and I'll set it up at a 23-degree angle. I'm not sure I get 23.4. I'm not sure I've got something to measure it that.
Sure you've probably got.
What's your reference, mate? Are you going to spin it to get the 23? Because if it's not spinning, I mean, what's 23?
Unless in Montreal, I'm a crusty biker, so don't play with people you don't want to play with, mate. Because I'm smarter than you, I'm more erudite than you, I speak better than you, and I probably know more than you, but I'm not sure about that.
It's all about the Smurf stress.
Did you just put yourself in a box because you're a biker?
Bikers are the most awesome people on the world. This is a known fact.
Yeah, what's wrong with being a biker?
Yeah, while they're alive.
He just compared that to his intelligence. Amazing.
Most bikers I know are pretty smart, actually. Bit rough around the edges, but you don't.
Not all of them. Usually, that's where crank comes from. You know what crank is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is. I was an outlaw.
That's a you problem, not a we problem.
I don't think they were pretty smart with that.
Well, again,
what makes you think it came from bikers?
What was that?
What made you think it came from bikers?
Where do you think the word crank, the term, came from?
Tell me.
What do I think about Kevin Bacon?
Okay, so they used to take meth and put it inside the crank, and that's how they travel around without getting caught.
That is not where that came from.
So they called it crank.
No, it's definitely not where it came from.
Yeah.
Enough.
Are you sure you didn't ask what I think about Kevin Bacon?
How many degrees?
You wouldn't know him unless he's a cricketer.
Man, your meth would be all sorts of fucked up if you put it inside of a crankshaft. It'd be burnt, be fucking hard, nasty fucking shit. Not that I have any experience in that area at all or anything.
So the origin of the name crank comes from the use of it during World War II.
Was you feeling footloose, are you?
And fancy
What are
free.
they using it for? You get the
Yes.
shirts all hyped up.
So does anyone have anything exciting happening in their social lives?
Social life, no.
Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Trying to get some people together to go to see the volcanoes in Iceland.
Oh, I'd really like to do that. Can you pay for me?
I can't pay for you, but I can get you a place to stay. The couch, whatever it is, where you just stay on people's couches. I've got 2 places lined up, so I still got to get myself there. And right now, it's kind of hard to do that.
Hey, Druss, if I flew you over here, you go to work for me this morning because I don't feel like going.
Sorry, I'm already working.
This is his job.
Friday, it's the first nice day of the year. I'm riding to work, and I would much rather just keep riding.
Oh. Yeah, it's been some nice weather around here. And no, Brian, this is not what I do for a living.
Make sure you take the crank out of your crank.
Yeah.
So are you a paid flat earther, Brian? Is that what you're here?
So are we all bikers then?
Fair number of us, mate.
Fuck, I hope not.
Amazing, isn't it?
I ride a real bike. Druss rides some Japanese or some import junk.
Yeah, mine starts.
What?
He doesn't like. He rides a Harley. I ride a Honda.
Fucking Harley.
If you're in Japan, it's not imported.
Very true.
I had a girl come for a DA course, and she said her and her husband done the West Coast ride. Is it up the 66? Or something?
Highway 66.
Yeah, and they had a Harley, and they call them a little fanny pad on the back fender.
Well, they look
That's a
like
bit
giant
sexist.
mopeds.
That
That's
would
what they
actually
look
be
like.
called a pussy pad, is the technical term for that if you need to order one.
Yeah.
And she said it shook every one of her fillings out of her fucking head.
Well, yeah, it's the big giant counterbalanced V-twin. They shake like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's a giant moped.
Yeah, I've got more displacement in half of one of my cylinders than any moped I've ever seen.
I don't know. They're funny looking bikes. That's for sure. Sports bikes are better.
What bikes have we got?
Harley made a sport bike. I own a Buell too.
So I've got a Honda VT 750 and I've got a CBX 1100.
What 750?
Honda VT 750, Black Shadow.
Ah, right. I didn't know it was the VT.
I just got an old
Okay.
shovelhead hardtail right now.
Yeah, so I've got my little VT, which I tend to do most of my riding on, and then I've got a CBX 1100. I've got a CB 1100X in the garage at the moment.
Oh, that 1100.
None
yeah,
of this
that's
proves
nice.
the shape of the earth, guys.
That's a nice bike. That 1100.
Here in about
Has
15
anybody got
minutes.
any classics?
Here in about 15 minutes, Druss, we'll see how the new neighbors like this 77 shovelhead when it fires up.
Yeah. He's got a
Steve, you have a Karen in the neighborhood?
Oh, I have lots of Karens in the neighborhood. They hated the bike the day it came off the trailer. That looks dangerous. You can't have that in front of your apartment. Why not? It's registered and legal.
It's going to be drugs and hookers to the area.
As we circle back around to the shape of the earth.
No.
As we search out for the evidence showing that we are on a spinning, flying, curving, globular shape,
rotating,
oblate,
spheroid,
in the vacuum of space. Now we know, obviously, space is a made-up idea.
How many hours in a day?
We know space is a made-up idea to support
How many hours in a day?
How do we know that, Chemo?
Well, the idea was that ships go over the horizon.
No idea what you explain it all to me. Exactly what you mean.
Well, we were told. Yes, we were told that.
What you say. This is what you were told.
No, this is what we were all told. We were all told that.
No, so you weren't told this, but we were all told it.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No. We were told that because ships go over the horizon, this tells us
they
that
do.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. No, they don't. What?
Exactly, Gio. Let's get it. Let's tell them. Let's teach in the...
Fly up in the air.
So...
as it seems that Chemo's going to abuse his music.
You're derailing again. Who muted Druss, by the way? Can't afford the derailing in this short time that we have. We don't know when they're going to shut the internet off. The flat earth
Spurs, if Druss is on point, there's no point muting him, right?
He's not on point. He's talking about
if he takes the conversation off flat Earth, I'll mute him myself.
Yeah,
well,
I'll sort it out.
I'll sort it out. The geometric horizon is not on point, that's for sure.
Wow, Chemo. Wow.
Oh, you see? Look, there he goes again. You see, it's not about me. It's about the conversation. Okay? So look, let's get back.
People are doing these little interjections, all right? Let him have a couple.
Not a problem. We're all involved in discovering the shape,
right, so
the true shape of the Earth.
Stop muting people for doing that.
Well, let's not derail now. Then let's focus on the most important points, which is
how many hours in a day?
Actually, Chemo.
There we go again. Look, interrupting me. I wasn't even finished. There we go again. You see now.
He's on a question. He's on a question. Spurs, calm your pants down,
This
mate.
is what we're talking about. Now we're explaining. I'm explaining to Mippet. I'm in the middle of something.
No. You answered Druss's question. He just wants to ask
you see me and Mippet having a conversation. You see, and he comes in the middle of that, trying to derail.
Druss, feel free to ask your question.
And
all right, so Mippet's giving way to Druss now.
Well, me and Mippet are talking about that.
But she's giving way now. Okay.
Now you're interrupting me and Mippet. What's your problem?
Yeah, go ahead, Druss.
We're discussing whether Druss has a point, whether he has evidence.
Druss does have a point, so
well, I don't think he does. Mippet.
Listen to it.
I think what he has is
listen to it.
I think what he has is preaching, right?
No, what you have is preaching.
Right now he's interrupting me and Mippet once again. Was what he's supposed to do. Okay, we can't even finish a conversation in this
I'll tell you. Okay, if you're hang on, you're asking me now what to do.
I'm saying we can't even finish.
Listen to his question. How about you shut up? You brought me into the conversation, Spurs, just then. Yeah. You said, what are we supposed to do?
Okay, go on.
Go
on.
Okay? Mm-hmm. We just shut up and listen to what Druss has to say.
So we're on a conversation about
make it short and sweet, Druss. Go ahead.
No, hold on a second. I was talking to you, then you spoke. Why didn't you respond back to me?
I did. My response was shut up.
Okay, and I've got a response to that. I have we're having a conversation, aren't we?
It doesn't need a response. Go ahead,
It
Druss.
does require a response. It's not a one-way conversation. Oh, look, there he goes again. Once again, holding up the conversation.
The conversation that you and I were having didn't need a response. Go ahead.
Me and you we're in the middle of a discussion.
So the question I want to ask, and I'm going to have to turn you down, Chemo.
Oh, right, you see, there we go.
So
right,
the question I wanted to ask was very...
That cannot happen, you know that he can't turn down mods. You know that's not possible.
Druss, I'm muting you on the proviso you don't
turn I will do it, Stop in doing it.
Kimo, what the fuck is your server, Kimo?
Right,
what the fuck are you doing?
To stop doing
it.
He's interrupting the conversation.
It'll just wait.
So Kimo's getting bombarded by a bunch of globers.
Exactly. You see, they're all over me. All I'm asking is very simple questions, right? And I'm being attacked from all quarters.
You won't even let anyone ask you a question, Chemo.
Well,
this is where the problem lies.
Well,
you don't listen. You choose not to listen. You choose to just continually talk until people get bloody bored and submit because of boredom. It's not because you're right. You're always wrong. We know this. Please let Druss ask his question, please.
I think it's fine as long as we all have Fun.
Oh Christ! Who let Branch out of the box?
Enjoy it.
All right, hey, excuse me, Branch, 1 sec.
Well done,
Branch, 1 sec.
well done, Waz.
Hey,
You've
guys,
messed up your chat
guys,
now.
everybody,
Well done,
everybody,
Waz.
just a minute, please. Just a quick one. Go ahead, Druss.
It was a very simple question, Chemo. Before you started talking, when Brian, Bender, and I were talking about bikes, you muted me, and I want to know why you muted me at that point.
Really, Druss? Is that what your question was? All right, go ahead, answer that one. Go ahead, Spurs. Please,
good question, Druss. Great question, Druss.
I think he's not a biker, that's why.
Hold on, let Kimo answer.
Sorry, I was just in the kitchen.
Yeah. Fucking hell, you're pathetic, Chemo.
Right, guys. Everyone, just give us a minute. Go ahead, Spurs. How do you answer Druss's question? Why did you do that?
I heard that Kimo's making.
No, Branch. No, Spurs is going to answer. This is Spurs' platform now.
He's making the tea.
Branch. Yeah. Please go ahead, Spurs. Have you left, Spurs?
1 sec, I'm on the way.
Make sure you zip it up and wash your hands.
Only a cup of tea, mate. Only a cup of tea. So, what we're finding now is that I think you need to go down to the game room with Kosho so we can get back onto the important topics of
I'm keeping it on track. Everyone's part of this conversation.
We're being derailed. We're gatekeeping now. We're not focused on the most important.
To be fair, wait, Spurs. To be fair, I didn't know that was Druss's question. Okay.
Well, I didn't even hear the question. I was making a cup of tea.
If I knew that was going to be Druss's question, I would have muted him.
Well, I didn't even hear what he said anyway.
He asked why did you mute him when he was talking about motorbikes. Now, I could probably answer that on your behalf for him, but I won't. I'll let you do it.
Well, of course, Druss is someone who likes to hide the fact that the Earth is flat. So he likes to talk about everything and anything but the truth. Yes, the truth is something that he doesn't like to talk about. And,
what are you talking about?
Right, so they'll start talking.
Right, so your opinion is Druss knows it's flat?
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's
of course,
part
of course.
He's part of he's part of the cover-up.
Oh, yes, of course.
What makes you think Druss knows it's flat?
Well, the idea is to talk about everything but the flat Earth. Yeah.
Well, he does bring up flat Earth occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah, just to get in to change the subject. Yeah, that's the tactic.
Oh, so you think he knows it's flat, so he deliberately inserts himself into a conversation to take the conversation away from it being what it is.
Got it. You've got it.
Got it. That's amazing.
So that's similar to what Kosho.
That's a good insight.
They try to get everyone into games.
It's not that.
So wait a minute. Would you have any objections if I kick Druss from the server then?
No. Don't be doing anything like that. Everyone is welcome, but we just got to remind him that we've got to keep on the most important point. That's all.
Consider yourself reminded there, Druss.
It's 24/7 now.
I know. I realised was that the conversation that Brian and I had.
Here we goes again. You see now, I just told you any excuse to take the conversation away from the most important.
Hold on. Hey, Druss.
So I'm not sure that
this conversation isn't so much about you.
Branch. You can't jump in and derail. You can't jump in and derail Druss's derailing. Okay. It's just going to become a complete shit fight.
What is going on here? Are we going to get to the point?
I can bring it back.
Right, this is out of
Branch
control.
never has a point. Let's be honest.
This is completely out of
control. We've lost control, Spurs.
All morning we were having great discussions. Okay, you guys were playing games. Go and play the games and let us get back to the serious discussion. What's the problem here?
Yeah. I think
Brian and I had a great discussion, Chemo, about the flat Earth and the globe Earth and our reasons for it, and it was very pleasant. There was no shouting going on. Brian and I had.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So
so that's a bit weird that you claim that I try and get things off the flat Earth when actually I tend to bring things onto.
Yeah, me and Waz discussed why you do that
because I don't think you have a logical reason for the position you hold.
Okay, you're going on a bit too long now.
The way I see it,
that's right, CB. When they realise, because what the plan is, right? This is their plan, right? They think, oh...
Who told you this plan, Chemo? Is this some shit you've made up, or is this
No. This
something
happens
that's
every
actually
morning.
been written down?
No, this happens every
sworn
morning.
In
so
blood
I'll come
to
in
do.
and I'll be like, right, let's get the flat Earth discussion on. So a couple of you guys will be like, oh no, let's not engage. Let's not talk to the flat earthers. Let's go into another room and play games. Fine, go. Because obviously the most important points are the people who are listening, the audience, and the people that are here who are interested.
Well, the most important points are the sharp ones.
No. So if they want to go and play games, we know who you are. There's about 10, 11, 12 of yous. Go and play games. Leave the science to the people who actually do science measurements and know how to get answers in this world.
Who lets you go play games? Exactly.
So there was...
You've awakened the Thom, Spurs.
What?
Thom's got you now, mate. Go ahead, Thom.
I said to him, who is left to go play games?
No,
the
not
only
you,
person
Thom,
I
not
know
you.
left was you.
No, not you. You were... Because you're like a newbie. So what we're trying to do is get out with the old and in with the new. We don't need these old...
I think Mr. Walbrand is accusing you of being a game player.
That's fine.
Spurs.
At least he's
I may have heard that wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Thom?
pretty much. In more ways than one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys are very against what this entire room discussion, right?
Yeah, how would you respond to that, Spurs?
Again, there's only one way to find out if this is a game or if this is serious, and that is to provide evidence of a globe, space. You know what we're talking about. So
Done that.
Yeah. Answer simple questions.
You got these globers saying this shit.
Go ahead, Thom.
They got nothing against chemo, bro.
All I'm saying is we've got the game players who want to disrupt, don't want the conversation to continue, who get very bored, find it silly. Okay, we know who they are. Yes, and they want to play games.
I feel you're talking about me.
No. You was here.
Definitely. Definitely not me.
It's not about you, was.
I don't know. Did you stay or did you go into the game room? I can't remember. But the idea is we need maximum exposure, right? And how can we do that if you guys are playing games?
We don't want anyone to expose themselves here. That's not right.
No, but here's the thing: you guys are bringing out more and more people to talk shit to chemo. You're not letting chemo express himself as a person and let
because he doesn't know how to, Branch.
No, it's because
he isn't a person. He's some weird experiment. We worked that out.
You want to hear the truth. That's it.
Branch, you're getting a little overexcited. Tom wants to put his word in. Go, Tom.
Your truth is not everybody's truth. Because you think it's truth doesn't mean it's the truth. And if we think it's something different, that doesn't mean it's right or not either. But we have that right to believe that and to express it as much as chemo does.
Yeah, I agree
with that. Well, that's
that.
very fair. That's a fair comment. That's a fair comment.
Yeah, but the one thing that's nice about chemo is he doesn't necessarily express his truth in a absolute way. He lets you say, no, if you want to believe in the truth, you can. If you don't want to believe in chemo's truth, you don't have to. That's the beauty of chemo's.
Okay.
Is truth open to interpretation?
That's not true at all, Branch. Chemo keeps on saying he has the truth, and our truth is not the truth.
No, chemo never tells anyone. They specifically have to believe in his way of life. He's basically saying, listen to me if you want to. If you don't want to listen, that's fine with him. It's okay about it.
Well, it's not really fine with him, Branch, because when we don't listen to him and we talk about motorbikes, he comes in and mutes us.
Yeah.
I don't talk about
for example.
Oh, sorry.
He doesn't have an answer to a question. I don't know.
I'll say this: Chemo's never come in. Chemo's never come in and muted me for no reason.
I mean, I was this close to kicking Jem for talking about food. All he does is talk about food.
Yeah, I've never had.
We don't eat, we don't shit, we don't shit, we die. So what's your problem?
Never the situation where I've been talking and Chemo just walked in and muted me. It's never happened.
Jem Panda, if you
never happened.
Well, I mean, I've been on here and
Yeah, I
I've been
mean,
on
look,
here and
look.
I'm
If you
just
can't
right.
handle the pressure, it's time to leave, guys. We're looking for
Yeah.
people who can do science. We are very strict on the science, yes. And if you're not a scientist
Get
in
it.
our environment, we're going to class you as a pseudo-scientist, and you will be exposed in the world as a pseudo-scientist. You see?
Who is actually the authority to decide what is pseudo and what is not?
So is this
Oh, I want
science?
to do so.
Waz, I need your help.
Space
It's out
is-
of order in here. It's out of order.
Yeah, order, guys. Come on,
guys.
one at a time.
Yeah.
Rick is
Gary.
here too. Rick, help me out.
Yeah, Gary, go ahead,
seriously,
please.
seriously, guys, look.
Branch,
Chemo's talking.
Branch, hang on, Branch, hang on.
Gary.
Someone else has got the mic. Go ahead, Gary.
Are you running people off, Chemo?
Pardon?
Me?
Are you running people off? Out with the old and in with the new?
Out with the well, again, it's not the idea of running people off. It's if you can't withstand the pace, the heat, what we bring to the table. We say,
What
look,
do
instead
you
of giving
bring to the
yourself
table
any
that's new?
unnecessary pain, okay, Kosho
What are
will
you bringing
provide
that's
you
new then?
light entertainment, yes, with games and trivia,
Sure.
yes, and all these wonderful
But
things.
what are you bringing that's new, Chemo?
Well, what we bring
Oh,
is
well-
we raise maximum awareness, Gary. Maximum
Chemo,
awareness.
real quick, bro.
how many
Kosho
hours
also
are
has
they?
magic tricks.
Branch, can Gary have the mic for a minute, please, Branch? He doesn't speak very
I
much.
know,
Let's
but I'm
let
just
him have a
trying
go.
I'm just trying to tell him
Let-
that Kosho also.
Thank you, Branch. Thanks
So
for
what
the
is your-
self-serve mute.
Yeah. What are the new things you're bringing awareness to, Chemo?
Wow, whenever we meet a Glober for the first time, to them, this is...
Yeah, well, I know that normal shtick. I meant, have you successfully put subsolar point measurements or anything of this nature yet?
Absolutely. I mean, me and Ranty and the guys went down to Wales. We made some measurements, GPS, hired a boat, P9100, P9000, all those wonderful things. Then obviously went down with Anthony, Mr. Riley there. We obviously went down, made some more measurements just to ensure that obviously what we were seeing is what we were seeing. But yeah, I mean, we've been out with the boys, we've been out with Nathan. Yeah, we've been out,
didn't mean
as you
that.
know, we've done all that
I
stuff.
meant this thing with Jeremy and the subsolar point. You weren't so keen on it. So
I support
have
Jeremy,
you put
but
him off it yet?
obviously this is not something that will give us information concerning the shape of the Earth.
Oh, I see. So you support it, but
I support that he wants to get something done. So he'll be able to say, I've been out there. He'll be able to say like us. I've been out there. I've done something. I've shown something, you see? We're not just about
yeah, we know
talking.
that you've been to Anthony's caravan, but really, you know, other than that, what have you done?
Not just Anthony's caravan. We went down to Wales with Ranty.
Yeah.
We hired a
I saw
boat.
that shit.
And Ranty in the caravan.
No, we
He
didn't
was
stay the
fucking-
night. We just
Dude.
went for the whole day. We hired a boat, and I said we
Just
had
all
all the
night, though?
GPS, we had the cameras, the
For
lasers.
one night.
What?
Then you went for a little rowing trip.
Went for a rowing trip. Yeah, row the boat. We went out, found out
Which
if the
was
horizon
much
is physical,
taller than
found
that,
out it's
but
not.
okay.
Where?
But like I say, Jeremy will be able to say,
Good
yes, I've
lessons,
been
man.
out there. I've actually done
Spurs.
something.
Sorry to interrupt, mate, but you keep over-talking Gary.
I can barely hear him. His mic is so low.
I do understand
because
that, but so you have to be a little bit more forgiving.
Okay.
I've not got my thing set up. I'm in the process of moving. But no, I'm glad that you're not fully put him off yet, but I would like to see it when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, for Jeremy, it would be to say, I've been out there, I've done something. You ballers do nothing. I'm active. That's what we get to say, that we're active. We do stuff. We don't just talk about it. We be about it. Yes. So I think that's probably what Jeremy wants to do. So more power to him.
So when is your next bit of activism out in the world taking place?
Well, we're considering whether these lockdowns are for real or if they're just part of the narrative. Now, we obviously
Well, you're free
believe
now,
that there's going to be
Kimo.
another lockdown pretty much anytime soon. Third wave and stuff
Kimo.
will be imminent.
What's your next plan? The next step?
Well, we've actually complete what we need to do thus far, which is show that the Earth is not curving. I guess the next stage would be to build a rocket. But I don't think any flat earther is in a position at the moment to build a rocket.
Wow.
I think you should make a
That's
steam one,
huge.
Chemo.
That's a big venture. That's a huge venture. But once we get our own rocket, then obviously we can give you more information But right
Went
now,
so well with the last flat earther that did it.
I know. Should have had a parachute and stuff. Like one of them eject. Like when Neil Armstrong tried to do it, his thing blew up, but he ejected out before it landed and crashed. So we need...
What? Blew up? What are the crap are you talking about?
Yeah, so Neil Armstrong, before he went to the moon, was testing the lander of how he could fly in it. So he had this like hovercraft machine, right? And he was flying around in the sky like outside.
I need a citation for this. Sorry, Chemo. You're just telling fantasy stories now.
No, Mippet, everyone knows about
Yes.
No, so look, seriously.
No,
now,
not everybody knows.
Neil
I don't know. So, and I don't think it's true.
Mippet, I'm constantly feeding you.
I think he did lose control of one of the landers in a test flight.
So just type
Anyway,
in Neil
well, good luck
Armstrong's
to you,
near death.
Oh, I'm quitting now.
Want me to do all the work, Mippet?
Well, anyway, good luck, Chemo. I'll let the rest of the...
But he still got to the moon, didn't he, Chemo?
No, he didn't actually. Okay, here we go. I've got it for you, Mippet. Constantly feeding you, constantly providing you, Mippet, with information to show you that we know exactly what we're talking about. The globe earthers do not.
Were you there?
The globe
Were
earthers
you
do
there?
not know what they're talking about. Now, this is called Neil Armstrong, Mippet. Are you still there, Mippet? Don't waste my time.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Good. So this is called Neil Armstrong almost killed Apollo astronaut years before. So same kind of thing that the rocket guy did, but Neil had an ejector seat. So you see Neil eject out just before this blast. Now, of course, what?
It worked then. He tested it,
Does it
and
look like
it
it
obviously
worked?
worked.
Did it
Yes.
look like, did that firebomb look like it worked?
Did Armstrong survive?
He survived, but did the device
There
work?
you go, and he went on to do some fantastic things. So
You were laughing at us
Don't
saying,
see what the
"Oh, how did it
problem
go
is."
for the last guy?" And I'm saying the same thing happened to Neil, but to the last guy, he didn't have an ejector seat like Neil
who's
here.
the last guy then?
So that was our Mike. Mike, yes.
What? Who? Mike? Who? What are you talking about? We were talking about Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
You're confusing me now. Jesus, King,
Right,
Mike,
so
keep
we
on
know
going.
Mike. I forgot his second name, but Mike tried to build a rocket, go to space.
You thought he was the last guy.
Yeah. So Mike, I know it was Mike. Yeah, tried to go to space in a man-made,
So,
homemade.
and where have you read this?
Oh my
information.
You haven't heard of Mad Mike?
Yes, I have, but where did you get the information that that's what he was doing?
Well, why would you build a rocket just to go into the sky?
Were you
He wanted to see what it was like at altitude, and do you know what he powered his rocket with, Chemo?
Well, if you want to know what it's like at altitude, just go to an aeroplane.
Of course you don't.
Get an aeroplane.
Of course you don't.
So the
I don't
idea
have
was
any
to build a
details,
rocket
just
to go to space.
He went 1,800 feet. I got a ladder taller than that.
Exactly. So if you wanted to see altitude, you just get an aeroplane, and you can see what it looks like at altitude, right? But he was trying to go to space. So the idea was he didn't have an ejector seat, like Neil here, with the video I just posted where the thing crashed. Yes? And, well, I think he did have a parachute, didn't he? But not enough parachutes or something. He came down too fast.
It was Neil and then Mike. Those are the only two people who ever did this.
So the idea is, anyway, is if we could build a rocket, flat earther rocket, then that's the next stage, Gary. That's all we can do, because we know the Earth.
And you'd end up the same way the last dude did.
No.
Did it.
Well,
yeah.
$1,000. So all you need.
Well, no, I wouldn't go myself, Mip. It's very
And a
dangerous.
death wish.
And I'm not really.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I
you're
don't really
a big
have a head
pussy.
for heights. You know, I'd be like, ooh.
And that would mean somebody else would have to do it for you.
Kimo,
And then they wouldn't believe it.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, and then he wouldn't believe it exactly.
Okay, you can
The
ask me
rocket.
something. You can, yeah.
Yes, the rocket is going to be built in from a company. For example, let's say ESA or JAXA or a company that is building rockets, or is going to be built by your team.
You're too low.
For
I can't
example.
hear you.
So the rocket is going to be
that's better,
built
yeah.
by your team, or some company is going to build the rocket.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who's going to build the rocket? Your team or the company?
So we'd have a team.
Okay, so Flat Earthers team, they're going to build a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Without the help of specialists, like
Well,
scientists.
Planner
or something
Walker,
like that.
he's an Australian. Now, he spoke about building and sending a homemade rocket, but he never did. So we're just waiting for the homemade people, the homeland, like the normal, regular ground people, to build a rocket.
Fabulous.
It's because you're too lazy to do it.
No,
I wouldn't have the first clue how to even put, like, how, I don't know how to build a rocket.
But you expect everybody else in the world to know that.
Yeah, there are some clever people out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Who can build
You're
us a
absolutely
rocket.
Ridiculous.
You've got to trust and rely on those.
This is why people don't take you seriously, Chemo.
It's not about me. It's not about me, Mippy.
No, thank God it's not, eh?
No, it's about the shape of the Earth being flat when we're told it's a globe. That's what it's about.
Well, that's
can you
your
tell me-
opinion. Unfortunately, it's wrong, but everyone has an opinion.
Can you tell me again the name of the guy who was building the rocket in the garage, please?
Mad Mike.
No, this
Mad
guy
Mike
is
Hughes.
dead.
Hughes,
This
Mike
guy, this
Hughes.
guy is
That's
dead.
it. Thank you, thank you.
That guy died. I'm so sorry for him. But
Yeah, Mad
another
Mike,
guy-
Mike Hughes.
No, mate. You told me a name of the guy who's building rockets in his garage.
Ah,
and he's gonna
Planner
help
Walker.
you.
Planner Walker, yeah. He's a baller.
Planet
His name
Walker.
is Planner Walk, yeah.
Planner Walk, yeah, that's the one. So he said it ages
At
ago.
least get names
Man.
right, Chemo. That's really bad.
He's a
form.
ball earther, though.
But anyway.
But we would have. I said, Planner, I'll trust you if you build it, and he hasn't done it yet. That's not our problem.
No, I get it.
No, it's not a you
No,
problem,
I
is
get
it?
it. It's exactly like the Cavendish experiment that you're waiting for everybody else to do it for you. So this is going to
Kind
be
of,
exactly
yes,
like
yes,
this one.
kind of, in a way. I mean,
Oh,
we have an easy job, an easy life, yes, because we don't make
Yeah.
wild, outrageous, ludicrous claims. Now think about that.
You're just
Because-
ridiculous.
Because we don't make wild, outrageous, ludicrous claims, we get to look at the people who do, i.e. you, and then we get to question those outrageous, outlandish, nonsensical claims. Yeah, that's right.
And why is that?
Because we don't make those claims. Who in their right mind would say, "Oh yeah,
You
can have
make no claims. So, you know,
yeah," but who on earth?
I
would
don't understand.
Who on earth in their right mind would make a wild claim that they can't back up?
Flat Earthers.
You do it every day.
You claim there's a dome.
Some do, but that's just speculation.
Well, that's the we you refer to, isn't it?
Some of them say
You
yes,
know.
there's a container. We can go with that if that's what they believe. That's fine.
And you claim
What do
to the
you
ISS.
believe, Chemo?
I think there's another medium. So we're like a density tower. Yes, you've got water, and then above that is another medium, then above that is another medium, and it keeps changing mediums, obviously, as you go higher.
And here it is a claim.
Yeah, that's what I suppose. I haven't been up there, have I?
No,
We're
no,
gonna
no.
build a rocket.
It's a claim, mate. It's a claim. You said.
How is it a claim?
recently.
Because we haven't tested it. We haven't been up there.
But you say because it's like that. It's not a claim. What's your logic?
So we're trying to figure
don't
out
think
what is
what-
we're trying to figure
You're
out what's
going from left to right by instinct. You don't think it. You just put layers and layers, and you. So it's a claim, mate.
No. We're trying to figure out what's above the atmosphere. Yes. So is it a vacuum?
So you're claiming because it's something like you have been explained. It's a claim, stupid man.
No, I would say it's this or that. Definitely, if I was claiming something, but we don't know. Do we?
If, but, maybe, and. That's all you
Precisely,
ever say,
precisely.
Chemo.
That's why we need a rocket, Mippet. Without the rocket, we are pretty much just flat earthers. Nothing. We can't tell about the sky or space or whatever is up
You're
there.
just stupid flat earthers. Yep. Sad,
All you
isn't it?
need is $30,000 and catch a ride on one of the rockets going up to this ISS, no problem.
That would be
30,000.
wild. I would love that so much.
If that was true,
They're selling tickets for
$30,000 to go to the ISS.
They're selling tickets for $30,000. All you need is $30,000.
$30,000 to go to the ISS.
$30,000. That's it. Before the people, of course.
All right. So who has done that before?
I don't think anybody has yet.
Nobody has, because it's not possible.
Two people, I believe, but I don't know who they are. But I think I heard the other day it was 2 people since they started doing it.
You know how many people would go to the ISS if that was true? Come on. That would be happening every single day.
Look it up, man. Look it up. That wouldn't happen every day. There aren't any rackets going up every day.
Well, how many times do people win the lottery? How often?
Exactly. Once a week someone wins. Why?
There you go. So every week somebody would go to the ISS, at least.
But they don't go up. They don't have rockets going up every week. And you said you wouldn't go yourself. So don't you think there's more people out there that would go, fuck no, I'm not going up there. I don't think I would. I would love to go.
No, that's because I don't like heights. But other people like heights.
Not everybody does.
Pilots like heights. Aha. Skydivers like heights.
Yeah, okay.
Window cleaners like heights. Yes. If you clean in Trump's building, you like heights.
No. You mean the outside?
The windows, yeah. If you're a window cleaner for Trump.
You wouldn't get paid, so...
The point is that if it was true that we could...
And it is.
Well, has anyone done it before?
I think there's been 2 people, but you can look it up yourself and find out. They advertise it. They selling tickets to the ISS.
Who'd you give you 30,000 to?
What's that?
Who'd you give the?
Look it up, Chemo.
Who'd you give you 30,000 to?
I didn't.
No, no. Who? If I have 30,000, who do I give it to?
Don't know. Look it up.
You don't even know who I pay to go.
Probably SpaceX.
What?
Probably SpaceX.
I pay the actual company SpaceX.
That's who's taking the rockets up there, ain't it?
Gosh, if this were true, this is what we're talking about. This would be globe life, Don.
Look it up.
No, show me somebody going there. Provide the evidence, Stom. Again, that's a point to me now, Thom, yes?
No. Not at all. You haven't.
You haven't answered how many hours in a day yet?
24, we said. We agreed, 24.
Okay, then how fast is that moon going around your supposed...
No, we're talking about the ISS. Stop derailing. That was a sneaky one there.
No, we started that with a question you haven't answered yet. You walked away. You ran away. You ran away.
24 hours a day.
Yes. Now the second part of that is how fast is your sun going around? Because at 24 hours a day, we know it's got to go around one time in a day, and there's gonna be. You said 60,000 miles. It's got to cover. That's 2,500 miles an hour. It's got to be traveling. That's 1.5 times faster than the Earth rotates.
Well, the sun does speed up and slow down, right?
That's it.
That's what Jeremy's going to find out.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about Jeremy finding it out. I think we all know it goes around at 21 time in 24 hours at 15 degrees per hour.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's the same sun. We've been through this.
Oh, yes, we do know it's the same sun. Anybody hear that he believes that there's two
they all agree with you. I'm on my own here.
Yeah,
people out there in the world.
Only Chemo's brand of stupid for that.
Yeah, there's one sun for every time zone on the whole world.
I stand alone because you guys
one for each person.
Very difficult to talk to. The flat earthers are very frustrated with the
but the answer that they can't answer is yes, we know.
Trying to pass on your indoctrination to other people.
Yeah. Can you imagine how what it would be if we were all taught with, well, don't worry about that. Nobody knows where oxygen comes from. Nobody knows how flowers grow. Nobody knows how that'd be insane.
All right, let's take a
I agree.
Intermission. Let's see if any of the flat earthers want to engage. Because
You running up again?
Brian's still here. So...
Chemo's boring himself.
Tom, I think you've beaten Chemo up enough, mate.
Yeah.
I think he's had enough.
And it's only 2 questions.
No, we're going to just pause. Don't we? We haven't got anywhere. No one's run away. We're still here
you ran away.
You want to move on, Spurs? You've been beaten up and slapped around. Been
No.
kicked in the butt.
Again,
Yeah, you got to tag out now.
No. We're just seeing if any of the flat earthers want to engage with you difficult.
Oh, he wants to tag someone like in a wrestling thing, like somebody else to come into the ring.
It's not about that.
Yeah, it's a tag team match.
Yeah, tag team.
I'm
We just
happy to
got
continue.
choke slammed off our shoulders. Now we need someone else to come in.
Yes, we want more. You said you want more flat earthers. Now you're complaining about not having more. What's going on with you guys?
No, I'm encouraging it. I think you should tag out.
Right, so there we go. Let's tag out. Let's tag in another flat earther who is able to destroy.
While we're waiting for the tag, Darkstar, I am looking for some history I've got on Lisa. She has that oldie English look about her. I know.
What's her name?
But...
Is her name
Lisa?
Like Lisa what though?
I can't remember her surname.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did like a pole dancing thing
hang
when
on.
they were on that tour.
Hang on, I'll send her a text message and ask her.
Yeah. You haven't got her number. I bet Kimo doesn't even have her number. Can we get her number from you, Kimo?
Who?
Lisa.
You remember Lisa on the Global Eye tour, Spurs?
Yeah,
remember Lisa?
Lisa's in love now.
Yeah, I know. She's got herself a man. Is she still doing the pole dancing?
Look, it's not about Lisa. Leave her alone.
She dances on a
No,
different
I'm just asking. I mean, that's a form of exercise.
Well, I'm not going to discuss that side.
All right. Well, are you still in touch with her at least?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. How's she keeping? Is she keeping well?
Yes. Yeah.
Enough of this socializing, but how's it looking like with the guy that she's with here? All going well there?
Come on, Waz.
What?
How's Roxanne doing?
Gossip. Roxanne is fine.
What do you mean she's fine?
I remember reading a study not long ago that gossip was actually healthy.
There was a gossip room. I don't know what happened. But we're just waiting for more flat earthers to arrive.
Hey, Kimo, remember when Roxanne took Ranty to court?
I'm not really into the gossip side of things.
That's pretty funny though, wasn't it?
No, I don't remember those. So, flat earthers.
You think
if you're
with
out
Anthony?
there,
You think with Anthony defending her, she would have done better, right?
now is the best time to come, and obviously take on globe earthers. It's an appeal to the outside world, to the flat earthers listening.
You're begging for someone to come save you.
No, we just because usually when the moderation is high, hot and heavy, they're worried and concerned that they're not going to be able to speak.
Well, that's a load of rubbish, and you know it.
The path is clear now. So free speech for all.
And yet none of them are coming. They've left you all alone, Chemo.
They've left me to do the very difficult job of discussing
playing
very
village
simple
idiot. I
things
know.
with Globe Earth, who's a very.
That's all they
religious.
think you're good for, Chemo. It's sad, isn't it?
Well, someone
Having
has
to be
to
the
do it.
village idiot. True.
I've been appointed to take on the Globe Earthers at large. Yes.
No, I was talking about being the village idiot.
And it will seem like that, yes, because
That you're the village idiot. Okay, that's all I needed to know.
So, like I said, if the flatties out there don't want me to do all the work, I want to share the burden, stress, frustration of speaking with globe earthers who are very difficult, and they won't give you a time or a second to get anything. If you make a mistake, basically that's it. Pretty much over for that flat earth.
You're starting to bore everyone to death again, Chemo.
So if
Either
you are
get
going
someone
to come
in here or...
If you are coming in, flatties, be strong, be on point, be sharp.
Answer questions.
And we're looking for the highest level
and
of
actually
intelligence.
answer. Yes.
Highest levels of intelligence. Because a lot of these ballers think they are intelligent, but as we can see, the intelligence...
Way more intelligent than you.
What?
And we're going to demand that you answer the question, not just pussyfoot or say you don't know, nobody knows, it's magical.
Oh yes, flatties, you must answer questions like I do. I'm always answering about the flat Earth when they ask. So you must give them an opportunity for Q&A. Yes. So let's just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, like no one's coming, so I don't think we need to wait any longer, do we?
Well, you never know what's going to happen today. I may have to do it all again today, do all the work again.
Because no one thinks that you're right, maybe?
I've just explained why. You ball earthers are very difficult people to speak to. Extremely difficult.
Ah, well, why are you still here then? If we're so difficult,
a therapist.
why bother?
I offer therapy for those who find it very difficult to come to terms
I
with.
want my money back.
Well, let's proceed with the.
If you're a therapist, I want my money back because you've done a shit job.
Well, the contract was it's going to take a year or two. You've only had a couple of months, so you know what the rules are.
Excuse me.
Yes. Contract is for a year or two.
I think you're a sick puppy.
Well, we're going to cure the sick minds of a globe. There is something wrong there with that person, which is again I offer therapy to help you handle the pressures of being a flat earther, yes, and how to navigate.
Yeah, the pressures of being a flat earther because you're wrong all the time, and it gets quite upsetting when people keep saying you're wrong, even though you are wrong.
Right,
so run off like
exactly. Yeah, that is a very good point, Mippet. So you're going to have to face hordes of people pointing the finger, saying you're wrong, you're incorrect, you don't know what you're talking about. But obviously, we know
because they are. The
one thing we all agree on is science, okay? And we all know science is repeatable, okay, and demonstrable. Things
and
like
yet
that.
you've never ever brought anything scientific into this discussion ever.
Oh, we are constantly doing science when it's necessary, and we do measurements also when it's needed.
Not helping anyone here. I don't hear loads of people shouting out, yes, chemo's right.
Because it's a very hard pill to swallow. If you've got a pill in your mouth...
because you're just so very wrong.
I'm choking on this truth. I can't speak. Of course you can't respond to this situation.
When you say you don't know, it's not that hard to just blow it off. Because if you don't know, then you don't have an argument.
Anyway, let's take an intermission. Let's pause. I'm going to pause for 5 minutes, and
run.
Hopefully,
running away
will
again, chemo. Because no one is going to go running somewhere to go, please come and help me. I don't know what to do. They all want me to answer questions. Oh my God, come and save me.
No. Like I say, flat earthers are just waking up now, and obviously they are listening in to see.
You're just waking up now. I thought that they're supposed to be woke already.
No, so look, we're going to give 5 minutes, Mippet. I'll be back. Don't worry, I haven't ran away.
I don't believe you.
I'm going to stay in the room and we're going to chill, we're going to wait, we're going to relax. And obviously, if no other flat earthers step up, then obviously, again, I will have to do the job of taking on the
fail once again.
Globe earthers who disagree with flat earthers, obviously. Yeah? So let's take that 5 minutes from now.
So you don't want anyone to talk for 5 minutes
we talk about
because
motorcycles.
You're stupid. Yes. Take up your other conversation. What a good idea. Now that he's quick, now while he's stopped.
Did we lose everybody? still waiting for a couple people to go with me to Iceland. Just for a couple days.
Skeptical is here. Hey, Skeptical, what's going on? Hey.
Morning.
Good morning to you, sir. What we're doing today is Globe Annihilation Day. So the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Tell these Globers whatever you want to tell them.
Yeah. Just I want to ask them a simple question regarding the spin of the Earth, so that it really triggers me when boulders states always that we live in a non-rotating Earth. In fact, it's in motion.
Hold on,
sorry to interrupt.
Let him.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go on.
Sorry to interrupt. Just a quick question, Skeptical. What part of the Earth are you on?
Europe.
Okay.
On the European
Can you increase your volume a little bit?
So, Thon, did you understand Skeptical's question or what?
Did I?
Yeah, did you understand? Did you listen? Say it again, Skeptical.
No, I can hear it.
You're a bit low, Skeptical.
You're a little bit low, Skeptical.
Skeptical,
yeah.
you're a bit low.
Loud or low?
No, low. Quiet.
Your volume.
Now you're better, yeah.
Your volume is low.
Well, am I better now?
Yeah, it's better. It's much better.
Yeah, it's a bit better.
So, yeah. So one question boulders always brings, and it really triggers me, which is the spin of the Earth. They say that we live in a moving Earth, when in fact we know that the Earth is measurably, observably, obviously a stationary plane. So yeah, that's because while me and you, we're all here sitting down there, we all experience an emotion in this Earth. So why are you claiming the opposite side? Why you say the Earth, the thing you stand on is moving?
Because it is.
When you say it's measurably stationary, what do you mean? What measurements give you that?
Oh, because again, without referring to third-party knowledge, my senses are enough. My experience is compelling. We all would agree that our own experience is compelling. We cannot obviously deny that our experience now, and we're in touch with every day, it clearly demonstrates, irrefutably demonstrates that the freaking thing we stand on is stationary. That's it.
Well, first, can you not make judgments for everybody else? Just say what you believe, not what everybody else believes, or what everybody else should know, or what is demonstrably true, because it obviously is not. But otherwise, people wouldn't believe it. What everybody would bring, we would have a discussion. So don't, if you want to say what you want to believe, you can say what you believe, but don't say what I believe or what anybody else on this panel believes. But so just you.
Wait, hang on.
Hold on a minute. We all experience that, right?
No, you don't.
Deny this. No, hold on a minute. Hold on. That now you've been a reality denier by stating that. No, because sorry, honestly, me and you, we cannot refute that. You cannot escape reality because it is what it is, mate. It is.
Yeah, we can refute it. We can refute it, and the way we do that, is by looking at evidence. And our experience of evidence is that we're moving. So then we have the experience, unlike you, that we're moving.
Draw up evidence, right?
Skeptical. You said measurably stationary. I asked you about that, and you said personal senses. How does that equate?
So no, I said okay. First of all, so like compelling. I initially. I said Earth is obviously and observably, experientially stationary.
How's that a
So,
measurement?
I mean, okay, right. So, again, it is what it is. Obviously, observability is stationary. So, to me, enough rely on my first-person experience instead of a third or second-person experience. Obviously, first experience, like it's the compelling one. It's the one that.
So sorry to interrupt you, mate. What unit of measurement did you use to come to that conclusion?
What kind of measurement?
What unit of measurement did you use? Was it the metric scale, or did you use feet and inches? What did you use to measure this? Did you use time?
I don't need to use that, mate. Why would I sort of like add?
Right. So when you say it's measurably stationary, you don't mean it's actually measurably stationary. You mean it's your senses that tell you it's stationary. It's not actually measurably stationary.
Mate, did that two statement, right, to my sort of like argument is that me and you, and I'm gonna repeat myself, right?
Okay, repeat yourself. That's
right?
good.
So, right, obviously, here's the term. Earth is obviously, observably, demonstrably a stationary Earth. So that's
okay. So you're not saying it's measurably stationary anymore.
He just did.
Just want to clarify.
No, I say it is Oh my god, it is an observable.
Observable. Yeah.
Moving Earth. That's it. That's what I said.
Right. And that's
right. Think of it like this.
That's just with your senses.
Think of it like this. You know, the police have those speed things for when cars go past. Yeah. And it tells you if you've gone 60 miles or whatever. Yeah.
Radar guns.
Yeah, them gun things, but not a gun, but the speed gun. Yeah.
Yeah, radar speed gun. Yeah, go ahead.
What we're saying is that those devices do not pick up any motion of the Earth. There's no miles per hour.
Okay, Spurs. If I was to give you that little small snippet of derp, Skeptical never actually brought that up either.
No, I'm saying that. He's saying
so.
There's no measurable.
When I asked him about measurements, he said it's observable.
No, listen. So when we're saying the measurement is nothing, zero, we can't measure a motion or movement. Yeah. So when you try to build a device to pick up a moving object,
why can't you?
Because those radar guns pick up zero.
Because they're on the thing that's moving. You can't use a radar.
Where do they pick up zero? What are you pinging to get zero?
No. You can take those things in the air, those radar fire guns, and there was still no miles per hour reading.
Because you're moving with the thing you're firing it at. You can't use a radar gun to test the speed of the car that you're driving. That doesn't work.
So you're saying fire it up into the air and it still comes back at zero?
In the air, fire it at the ground. There is no movement.
Right. Well, if you're moving with the ground, you wouldn't expect the result, would you?
You say that again.
Why?
But anyway,
if I'm in the helicopter.
The point is, initially, Skeptical said it was measurably stationary, and now he's backpedaled from saying it was measurable, and we just want Skeptical to clarify that he's now no longer saying that you can measure it.
Do you think Skeptical Spurs has got a point that if you used a radar gun and you're up in a helicopter, you pointed at the ground, you wouldn't get a measurement? Is that something where you're coming from? Would you accept that as a possibility?
No, okay. I mean, hold on a minute, right?
I mean, come on. Do you know what Spurs is saying?
No, hold on a minute. Hold on.
That's my own argument.
Yeah, you got a phone call, mate. We can wait.
That's not Skeptical's argument. Don't ask other people about my...
I'm not saying... Hang on. I'm not saying Skeptical's argument. You've put it forward as a possible measurement that the Earth is not moving. So I've just asked Skeptical if he understands what you've said.
Remember, what
and
I
if he agrees with what you
the other flat
said.
earthers may say are complete... Like I said, there's no atmospheric pressure. Yeah, so flat earthers don't say that. So don't ask...
No, you
can
didn't,
ask them,
Spurs.
But don't expect them to agree with how I view or see
Spurs,
things.
sorry, mate. I've got to stop you there. You're talking about a radar gun in a helicopter pointing at the Earth.
Yeah.
And not picking up a speed.
Or even a rocket leaving the Earth.
A rocket leaving the Earth.
Yeah.
Let's wait till he's finished his phone call, shall we?
See, that's just my idea. Is that if you're trying to pick
this
up...
is your idea, and I want to see if your fellow flat earther agrees with you.
No, I doubt that they will, because these ideas...
Because you're so stupid.
No, because these are slightly extreme, because we're not going to put one on a rocket, are we? So that's kind of not doable. I get that part. But if we could get one of those radar things and then point it at the Earth, we should pick up a speed if they pick up.
Right.
Because what we do is leave the radar gun on the ground and point it at the rocket to get the speed.
How fast is the rocket moving, Spurs?
No. Of course, we're gonna once the rocket leaves the atmosphere, we're gonna have some kind of satellite with geosynchronicity. Yeah, so it stays in one place.
And who's setting this up? Who's setting all this up? Or is this some sort of idea?
Yeah, it's just hypothetical.
Is this a thought crime?
Just a hypothetical that if the Earth was spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, the radar gun would pick up 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, definitely a thought crime.
I have a question for Kimo. Did you ever see SpaceX launch?
No, we don't watch.
No.
Movies.
So when they launch, they have few some data on the screen, and one of them is speed. How do they get the speed, you think?
What, on the computer screen?
No, on the YouTube screen.
Yeah, it's just a screen. Speed of what? The rocket, you mean?
Yes.
Well, they just work out how fast it's moving. Like any car,
Work out.
1 mile an hour.
They guess it.
They're tracking it from the ground with a radar system.
No, but I'm talking about looking at the Earth and measuring the speed of the Earth with a device. We're talking about a measurement. So we know we can't be on the Earth, like Veach just said. We can't use the gyro. We can't use the laser gyro test because it's on the Earth. On the Earth. We need it to be off the Earth, just like Veach is saying. Veach has just said that. Yes. So
no,
what we're looking for
is off the Earth.
Why don't we just radar the moon?
Yeah, we have done that. Yeah.
Now, how fast is the moon going?
Well, he'll tell us when he comes back.
Righto.
Moyek's done this. Uses radars and lasers and bounces things off the moon.
Yeah, did they use like one from the police department or from TPS or?
So skeptical, are you back to take on? He's still deafened. So any other flat earthers? Now is the time. Veach and Kosho are not.
Must be a more important phone call than us, Spurs.
Us.
Oh.
He's got it. What are you saying about me? What are you saying about me, Kimo? What?
Well, I was just making.
Don't go poking the bear, Spurs. Come on.
I mean, I was just talking about.
What were you trying to say, boy?
Well, I'm we're just talking about the shape of the Earth.
Scott, you can't say that, Scott. Bloody hell.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
You're very low, Scott.
Wow. What are we going to do today now? Then?
What do you want me to tell you?
Oh, hang on. I've got you down to 69. 1 sec. My fault.
Okay, so what are we going to do today? What's the plan? Change of plans. What?
Sorry?
Change of plans.
Sorry, say that again.
Change of plans. What are we going to do today now?
Sorry, just some. Yeah.
That's Skeptical's back.
Hold on. Are you and Was going on a date tonight or something?
No, that will be next week.
I told you this was happening, Branch.
Yeah, well,
you said you'll be okay.
You said you was. Did you say it's tonight?
Chemo, listen.
Why are you telling Branch it's tonight when you know it's next week?
Was is my fucking man.
No,
you don't
you're just going out to play.
Don't be taking my fucking man Was out on dates and shit.
Right, Branch, this is getting a little bit sounds a little bit you know.
Come on.
So Skeptical's back. Hoorah, hoorah. So Skeptical, let's hit on where it hurts. And let's try and get this Earth rotation back on the table.
Yeah, Skeptical, tell us about radar guns and how they can't make the register how fast.
No, he didn't say that. I said that. Let him say what he wants to say about what he thinks.
Right, just forget Kimo. Just talk to me. I mean, all they say is that Earth is observably, demonstrably, right, experientially a stationary Earth. That's it.
Yeah, especially experientially.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Branch.
Skeptical. How do you demonstrate it then?
That's all I say. So you cannot deny that because you know that you live in a non-rotating Earth. You know that. You experience that every day. You
Describe
there,
the demonstration.
right?
What is this demonstration of stationary Earth?
Yeah.
What is the demonstration?
Your senses.
I'm sorry.
Demonstrates the
Chemo. If you look at the conversation right now going on in the chat, you see you instigated this. You're bad, bro. Ashamed of yourself.
Sorry.
Carry on.
Be ashamed.
No, I mean, okay, like, who's the guy like talking to me?
Yeah, me. Yeah.
Bazaar. Right?
Bazaar, yes, Bazaar. Mm-hmm.
Bazaar, yeah, Bazaar. All right. So you said, okay, you asked me about the demonstration. Demonstration is like you experience. Your first person experience.
It's not though, is it?
Your first person experience is enough to a compelling, irrefutable. Like you cannot deny that because your first experience is what you experience. You experience a emotionless Earth. So why are you trying to rely on second or third party experience or knowledge? That's ridiculous, right? So what? Now again, there are layers of knowledge. Which layer? When I say layer, they are first person experience, second person experience versus the third person experience. So which one comes first? Which one would you validate?
You're stepping down from saying it's demonstrable, like you stepped down from saying it was measurably not moving. So out of the four things that you said the motion of the Earth was, you've now only got the one left, which is I say so, therefore it must be true.
Again, right? So would you agree that your first person experience is enough?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Well, generally, the first experience is the second thing you do, right?
And they mislead us. We know that. People play by our senses all the time.
Sorry?
You've got to fix your mic if you want to get
We
involved.
play by our senses all the time. It happens from time to time that they deceive us, and when that happens, we end up getting the wrong answer. So we have a lot of experience knowing that we can't trust our senses.
What do you mean you cannot trust your own senses?
There are plenty of examples that we all have in our lives where we use senses will fail us. They will show us things that are not true, and we would have followed them blindly. I don't understand. Why do you ask a question and immediately start talking as I begin to answer? Why don't you just let me answer?
Carry on.
So there are many experiences that we all have in our lives where we try to see something, we perceive something, our senses fail us. They give us the wrong information. If we were to blindly trust the senses at all times, we would get all kinds of things wrong.
Okay. Right.
Skeptical.
Right.
Optical illusions are an example, for example.
Okay. Okay. Right. You said sometimes our senses, like go wrong, and we might misperceive mistakenly, right? So again, the like sort of like you're not being pretty much specific with my point. My point is the thing you stand on, you live on the Earth, right? How would that deceive you? How would you misperceive?
Well, we know that the motion that it experiences is not have enough acceleration that we would expect to be able to sense it. We know that sometimes acceleration. Hold on, let me answer the question, dude. And we know that sometimes acceleration can be so low that we don't sense it.
But how?
And this would be an example of such an acceleration.
How did you come to?
Jesus Christ, you did.
You've got to stop doing that.
Skeptical. If you ask Veach a question, wait till he gets to the end, and then you can comment. Interjecting while he's trying to answer your question makes it really difficult to listen to.
Yeah, but what Veach should do is realise if there's a problem with what he's saying, and Skeptical recognise.
No, shut the fuck up. Seriously, dude.
Well, let's just let him get to the end, Spurs, and let Skeptical sort it out, Spurs. Nothing to do with it. It's not about you, Spurs.
Okay,
Try again. Try again.
Okay. I'm gonna be patient. Okay, carry on, Scott.
I'm done there. I was just saying that that its acceleration can be so low that we don't experience it, we don't sense it, and that would be the case for the Earth. So the deception is that it's moving, it's accelerating so small. Okay, go ahead.
He's done it again.
Because he wants to get in and address this point.
I understand, but you gotta let us. I'm not monologuing for 20 minutes. I'm literally just getting to the end of a sentence. Just let me get to the end.
No, you mentioned sort of acceleration. Okay, being in a car, on a boat, on a train, whatever. So that's a different reality. That's a different experience. That's a different experience or a different sort of like settings. Because being in a car is different than just being on the ground. Being on the ground, it has its own parameters, its constituencies and properties, which it's different than the first or like being on a car. So you're trying to build your conclusion based on that faulty premise, because first of all, your premise is wrong. And again, because sorry?
The premise is just that we know. You said, "How is it deceiving us?"
No, you cannot do that.
Dude, you can't just stop and listen to what I'm saying for a second. You said what, and I'm answering your what question. What is that? What I was not saying was that they're the same thing. I'm saying that we know from experience that certain kinds of acceleration can be so low that we don't sense them. We can find examples in our lives. This is yet another example, is my claim.
You see, we know from other, just listen to yourself, other experiences, right? Other things, right? No, one thought, okay, the experience, okay, hold on. Here's the problem, because, like, again, you are conflicting everything. Yeah, you giving me a confusing sort of argument. Your argument must be sound, must be built on strong premises. My claim is that my argument, as I said, right, stick to the Earth. If you want to speak purely about the Earth, about the thing you live on, don't try to rely or build or refer to analogies. Analogies are not good arguments. You cannot use analogy to justify your own, because here you're trying to use cutters everywhere, right? So what I'm telling you, the thing you stand on is not moving. That's it.
I understand your position. But again, if we're talking about acceleration, there's no reason to believe that acceleration because the Earth is moving is somehow magically different than acceleration when a car is moving or acceleration when a plane is moving. We know that we can sense acceleration if it's fast enough, but we know we can't when it's slow. We know how fast the Earth is, and we know it's below our threshold of sensing. So it's no surprise we don't sense it.
How do you know how Earth is fast?
Because we know what the rate of rotation is.
No, that's the point, because you are refining everything. See, you fall into a reification fallacy, trying to rely on other things to back up. Because again, speaking about gravity, or like, first of all, you're gonna prove that actually you live in a moving Earth. You cannot. It is impossible. You do not experience that, and no one experienced that.
We have experiments that show that we are.
Sorry?
You experience some microbes crawling across your skin.
For goodness sakes. Did you hear Veach? He says he's got experiments to show this.
Yeah,
We've done experiments and observations and measurements to show that we are moving.
I've got an idea for you, skeptical, that you may have experienced, but I'll wait.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So have you been... I take it you've travelled on a train, and when you stopped at the train station and you're looking out the window, which faces the opposite track, another train comes along very slowly and it feels like you're moving. Then you look back the other way and you can see the station that you stopped at and the station, and you're not moving. But it felt for that few seconds that you were moving, right? So that's the same effect, but the other way around, if you like.
See again. This is always not trying to really. The emphasis. Okay, my emphasis here is you guys.
You can't trust your senses, is what I'm saying.
No. Hold on a minute. Let me tell you why your argument is flawed. Right here is the point. Your point is flawed, is because you mind the way you function based on analogies. Analogies should not be used to demonstrate a thing. So you don't you gotta.
But you're using them yourself.
No, I'm not
using analogies yourself.
I'm not using them. Okay, okay. When when have I referred to in analogy? I've never used that. So my
well,
point,
what do you mean by the Earth? What do you mean by the Earth isn't moving because you don't feel it? What are you drawing that from, if not an analogy?
Experience, mate.
Yeah, and that's what I'm drawing from too. I'm drawing from an experience on a train.
Just watch the video I just posted about moving rooms.
Being on a train, and being on the ground is the both are different, completely.
The train is on the ground. The train is on the tracks is on the ground.
We know that train. It's okay. It's a moving object. It moves. It accelerates, right? That's a different.
But it's not.
Being on it.
But when it's at the station, you know it's. But when it's at the station, you know it's not moving because you've looked at the station and seeing it's not moving.
Because again, your hypothetical is built on an information that was given to you, which is a train, and you know that deep down inside you that the train is a moving object. He moves.
So what are you?
Why are you
So what are you?
It's a hypothetical when it's a known
So what are you
phenomenon
building?
and people experience it on a consistent basis?
What are you building your hypothetical on that we're not moving? You have no experience to say that.
No, okay, hold on. But you haven't experienced that to say that. So
you have no experience to say that we're stationary.
Well, I'm telling you, it's like you gotta be very skeptical, very consistent in your method.
Your skepticism should. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but your skepticism should be applied to your own way of thinking. You're not being fair and reasonable.
I'm being fair and reasonable.
You're not. You're not. You're lying to yourself. I don't like to say it, but I don't like to say the word lie. But I think you have lied to yourself in some way because you're not using your own. You're not using your own skepticism on your own way of thinking.
To say there's two sort. You're trying to say for one part. You're trying to say there's two different sorts of motion. When that's clearly not true. That's nonsense to say there is one sort of motion that affects the Earth and one sort of motion that affects trains and cars. That's just nonsense, isn't it?
No. Again, hold on. Please, just don't put you what? Okay, hold on a minute. What I'm telling you, the experience, like being on the ground and being on a train, should not be evoked. You should not even rely on that or refer to.
No, the argument is. The argument is whether we can sense the Earth moving. We get the experience of motion from cars and trains. Why is the motion of the Earth different to a car or a train?
That's the whole point, mate. Because
how? Exactly, that's
well,
the point.
not really. Why is? How can you say the Earth is not spinning when you haven't experienced the Earth not spinning?
It is obviously different.
It's not spinning, apparently. It's
not
rotating.
obviously. How is it different?
Whatever you want to call it. I'm using your terms.
There is no... Whoever... Where did you ever hear that there were different types of motion?
Sorry, say again. Pardon me.
Where have you ever been taught or learnt, or can you explain to me how there are different types of motion? Motion is to move from one place to another, and it has a sense. You're saying it has a sensation.
Yeah.
So how can you say we know what it feels like? We know what it feels like to be on a train. We know what it feels like to be fooled when another train moves past it, and we can't tell whether we're moving or the other train is moving. So how is
being on a plane? On a train, you already know, man. You already there. You already on a moving object. You're already on a train, or you know you're already there. Why are you trying to entertain that hypothetical?
Okay, so skeptical. Something to bring up here, and this is a true thing. I've been to this restaurant. I've seen it occur. There's a restaurant in Branson, Missouri, that has some. I said that when they place people at it, one of two things will happen: either the seats will drop, or the table will raise. And the way that the system works, it takes people a long time before they realize that, oh my God, this table that was at my rib cage is now at my neck before they've noticed the motion. They completely did not notice the motion because it's so slight. And it's been constant the whole time.
That's awesome.
Right.
People don't notice. See, people, unless there's a certain threshold for the acceleration, don't notice it occurring.
By the way, there's another example of that, which is that David Blaine did a magic trick, and the whole point of the trick was he rotated people out in the middle of New York Harbor. He rotated them on a platform they didn't realize was moving because he moved it so slow they had no sense of motion, so that when he revealed the curtain, the Statue of Liberty, which they had seen before behind the curtain, now was suddenly gone, and they just saw empty water. Well, they didn't realize that they had been rotating the entire time he was doing his shtick. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Right.
Geez, you're loud now, Scott.
It is a problem. Right? The guy, Scott, you mentioned that magic trick. The guy he knows, and he fooled people. People like they didn't find out. Okay, fine, right? So again, we all live in on Earth, right? We all stand here. Because the problem, like you're trying to, okay, here is your, I don't know, how can I really,
because what arguments? You claim that it's different, but there's no real reason to think it's different. It's motion. Motion, if it's too small, we won't experience it. The Earth's motion is very small.
Skeptical, you need to go back and listen to the. You just need to go back and listen to the live stream recording of this conversation. You'll find that you probably need to question yourself a bit harder. I'm just trying to help you, mate.
I'm questioning myself.
You're trying to fucking deceive me.
You need to actually be skeptical. That would help.
No, because okay, hold on. Mate, I'm highly skeptical because I know I pay attention to logical advices. I try to, because again, the whole conversation we're on, especially from a globe perspective, like you guys, you mix true with falsehood, right? And conveying your claims is completely. You already have a mistaken worldview, completely full of contradictions, and every claim you convey and you're going to tell me or communicate is already by default is wrong.
Yeah, when we press you on any particular item, and we've done just now about the motion of the Earth, you can't
that's my favorite one.
Your claim that the Earth is stationary, can you? You can't actually back up the claim that we can be fooled by being on a constantly moving object, and you can't tell.
Okay, you're not differentiating between Earth motion and other experiences.
We're trying to get you to we're trying to get you to explain that difference. You seem to be under the idea there are two different types of motion. Explain how the rotational motion of Earth is different than the rotational motion of anything else.
No, because again, you're trying to, okay, the burden of proof is on you, and you're gonna demonstrate that because that it is not moving, right?
Yeah, well, I'll happily take on that burden, and I'll do it in two ways. One, I think if you're going to truly be a skeptic, then you should say, I don't know if the Earth moves or not. No, I don't think you've got evidence either way to demonstrate it. And this is my example. On your skin, there are thousands of microbes and bacteria, probably millions of them. You can't feel them.
1.5 trillion.
But when we get a microscope and we start looking at that, we can see the evidence clearly as day in front of us. Now, I don't feel them crawling across my skin. I don't see them on my skin, but they're there.
Yeah, so none of that what you're saying is in contention.
With the rotation of the Earth.
Yeah, you're derailing now, Drus. Once again, is our bacteria is that in contention?
Spurs. Don't make it a mess and then blame Drus for you making it a mess.
Right, so he's derailing from the point. That is not in contention. Skeptical is not stupid.
Kimo, leave it alone. Stop interrupting.
Kimo, let me address that first point, right? You bring, the whole bacterium. Okay, again, see how your mindset works. Everybody his mindset works completely based on analogies. Analogies is not argument. You cannot and you should not. You must never use analogies.
It's feeling.
Analogies are different.
It's not an analogy.
Because hold on a minute. It's an analogy. But what? Okay. Okay, the bacteria. I don't know, mate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
even
this is
to talk
non.
about
You
that.
shouldn't even. Look,
Why?
this is a
Because
tactic
what I'm doing is I'm
skeptical.
showing the limitation.
Yeah,
Does this example not show the limitation of our senses?
No. Hold on a minute. No. Okay, hold on.
No, that's a question. Does this example show the limitation of our senses?
Absolutely not.
Russ, you're derailing the point.
Our senses.
We're talking about Earth turn, Earth rotation.
Stop being a gatekeeper. Just let people talk. Fuck.
Yeah, we're not getting into social elements, Veach. We're here to talk about the
chill
shape
out,
of the
mate.
Earth.
Spurs, chill out for a minute. The guys have got it.
We're here to talk about Earth rotation, not microbes on the skin. That is not.
We're here to talk about whatever comes up. Stop being such a freak. Like, just relax. You're not in charge of where the conversation goes.
So,
if people want to change the conversation, they'll change
all
the
right,
conversation.
fine. So, skeptical. Did you get the evidence for Earth rotation?
Just stop, Chemo.
No, they don't have. Okay, because I know, right? Just don't. I understand, right? How the mindset of analogies, right? Just because if you're highly skeptical and you pay attention to logical fallacy, you pay attention, you study everything. Because I understand now when when I'm hearing your arguments and deep down my mind, I say, hold on a minute, this is not right. This is not the case.
Logical fallacy that I've committed.
No, they are false analogies.
That's not a false analogy because I'm taking something that is directly showing the limitation of our senses. So it's not a false analogy. I reject that.
No, because we're talking about the Earth's spin of motion.
We're talking about human perception when it comes to Earth spin. He brought up another limit in human perception.
I'm talking about the limitation of our perception.
I would ask a different question.
Because skeptical. You said our senses could tell.
Hello.
And now we are giving you examples where our senses can't
tell. Somebody had started talking before you jumped in. You gotta go in order.
Yeah, someone who wants to distract. Someone who wants to.
No, I don't want to distract
anything.
Right, this is ruined, Veach. You've ruined this now. Watch.
That's what.
Hey, fellas, one at a time, for Christ's sake. Come on.
This is going nowhere.
Skeptical. What do you expect to feel, to experience if the Earth was moving?
Because I hold on a minute. Because you by default you implying motion. We in fact.
I'm not implying.
He's asking you a question.
Nike, let him finish.
You check in every single globe imply and trying to invoke something which completely go against his own experience. So again, the burden of proof is on you, not on me.
I asked you.
So because you go against your own first-person experience.
I'm not going. I asked you a simple question.
You go against
what would you expect to feel
if the Earth
was rotating?
Skeptical, it's a reasonable question. Hang on, guys. Skeptical, hang on. Skeptical, it's a reasonable question. Can you address it, please? What would you expect to feel on a rotating Earth?
No, it's not a reasonable question.
What do you want?
He's
that's a ridiculous.
Shut up, SC. Skeptical's answering this. SC, calm down. You'll get a chance.
Why are you implying? Okay, hold on. Why are you trying to again say what I'm gonna expect from that? What's the purpose? Why are you asking that to begin with?
No, you say your experience has to be motionless, right? I'm asking if it was moving, what would you expect? Your head to be blown, bumps on the road. What would you expect?
What would you expect if you saw a unicorn? What would you expect?
Exactly. So that's the whole point. I mean,
that's a distraction.
You question. It's not okay. It's okay. Hold on a minute. I mean, you should not even. That's a silly question, really. You cannot use. Well, ask me that question to begin with, because why am I expecting from a non-routine Earth?
Oh God, skeptical.
Okay, why is Bizarre muted? Look, this is all going to pot. This is before nobody was muted, everybody was talking, and now everyone's being muted. What's happening? What's the problem here?
The problem is they're starting off with a spinning object. And
yeah, but why is everyone being muted out of the blue?
You just walked in, babe. You don't know what's going on in this conversation. You just got here.
Right. No, I've been listening. Don't you worry. I know exactly what's going on.
Well, then you should know. And shut up.
You shut up, you clown, whoever you are.
So if his reason why the Earth is not spinning is because he's feeling it, then he needs to tell us what he would feel if it was moving.
Negative.
Negative.
You have a claim of a spinning sphere. You have to show us that it's spinning. Don't ask us.
It's spinning.
Tell
Yeah,
us
it's
your
already
fantasy.
been shown. The
see how
the
that
contention
works?
is whether or not he should be able to perceive it, Montreal.
No, you have to show
Yes.
that your sphere is spinning through feeling or through
Already been
observation.
shown.
Somehow that's your
Okay,
problem.
SC,
Skeptical didn't ask us to
whatever we show
to
you,
show
SC,
anything.
you won't accept. So we're asking you what you expect to feel if it was spinning.
Negative. You're turning it around. It's not going to work.
It's not.
Show us
Okay,
what-
well
Then
then
you can't use feeling as an excuse.
maybe you can shut up for a minute, SC, while Skeptical answers the question.
No,
and
show
you
us
stop trying
deviation.
to
How about
white
that?
knight him and save him.
I expect
The
here,
question
you asked me a question.
was to Skeptical.
I expect
The
to
question
see
was to
deviation.
Skeptical, and you jumped in, which is
No.
fine. But let a Skeptical answer it, please.
Sure, if you're afraid of me, go ahead.
All right, now be quiet while
fine.
Skeptical answers the
I can
question.
answer it.
Skeptical, what do you
answer it,
expect to
because you
feel
guys-
if the Earth was
Okay, hold
spinning?
on a minute. You should not really accuse the guy, right, by expressing like his worldview, right? Because again, I'm getting sort of like the same thing from you, and every one of you, the Globers, speaks. So you should not accuse us if Chemo others, flat earthers, like gonna rebuttal. Anyway, so what's your point?
Skeptical. This is what they do. They
Exactly.
ask
I know.
to explain them their fantasy. This is what they do. Be careful.
No. I mean, don't worry. Just I know. Because
It's really not what we're doing.
I go by high skepticism because this is what I embrace. Honestly, I try to be. I try to.
You're not
to give
embracing skepticism,
each,
though.
I try to give each things its own property and right, and to value things.
So from a
Carefully.
skeptical position, we could say that
You're
the
not
sky is
skeptic about
moving
your
or the
skepticism.
Earth is moving. One of those two things has to be true. Yeah.
Sorry.
And from what we observe from Earth, standing on the planet, as you say, or standing on the plane, however you want to phrase it, we can say that either the Earth is moving or the sky is moving. Those are the two things that we can say.
It's kind of a false dichotomy, but
That again.
Well, what else
why
could it
you
be?
should not again, right? Because look, here's the problem again. Most of you guys, right, trying to instead of being stuck and found himself incapable of answering flat Earth's question like the Earth's motion or Earth's spin, right? Why are you just trying to do like rely on other celestial bodies above you? No, forget me. You should not just rely on that.
I don't know what that had to do with the point that I made, but the point that I made is standing on the Earth with no other information. One of two. I can draw one of two basic conclusions. There might be a third. I'm not saying it's a true dichotomy, but the two conclusions I can, draw is either the Earth is moving or the sky is moving.
It's kind of a
Why are
false
you implying that?
dichotomy.
Why are you implying that?
He just said that he's not treating it as a true dichotomy. Those are his two basic premises that he will work on.
No, but again, no. Have you ever been to other sort of like wandering stars or fixer? You've never been there. Have you been to the sun? Have you been to the moon? No, you've never been there. So
I'm not wandering stars, and that means that you're invoking a Christian narrative.
So again, just going back to my point, from my basic observation of standing on the Earth, either the Earth is moving or the sky is moving.
Why you claiming it's moving? Why?
Because one of those two things have to be moving. I observe motion above me.
See,
That's
again.
it's either me rotating or
You're trying to impose motion. Why are you imposing motion on something that completely in the first place is not moving?
Because I see it.
Based on what?
I see the stars moving above me. I see the moon.
No. Again, this is a problem. No, that's a
So
huge intellectual leap. This is an
so it moves. I observe it moving. That's what my perception.
How do you know? How did you come to that conclusion in the first place?
Because I can see it.
You can through what?
My eyes.
No. Again, the point. Okay, the point in contention is Earth spin.
You can see what's moving through his eyes.
So no, that's exactly the point I'm making. I'm taking the ultimate level of skepticism, and that the skepticism that I'm drawing on is when I stand up and I look at the night sky and I watch the stars move and I watch the moon move. One of two things has to be the case. It's either the sky that is moving, or it is the earth that is moving.
That's a false dichotomy.
You imply motion, you're trying to like rely on other celestial bodies to prove your point. When in fact, you should not.
You're
do
skipping
that.
steps. Will you agree to the basic premise?
We're at step one. We don't know the answer to the question, and I'm saying it looks like we have two propositions: either the Earth is moving or the sky is moving. Is that not a fair starting point?
No, that's it. No, hold on a minute. I would say that okay, the objects, okay, the celestial bodies, wandering stars, or fixed, whatever, right? Above us, they are
You've made a whole
revolving
bunch of assumptions, and
So
you've not
while
gone
Earth
back
is
to the
still
basics.
stationary.
Will you
So-
please answer Dross's basic?
Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
Who
So
keeps
I'm
mocking
just-
me with the false dichotomy thing? I was just technically it is, but Dross is right. One of
How
the,
is it
you know,
technically
pretty
a
much-
false dichotomy? How's that a false
There
dichotomy,
could
Jeremy?
potentially be a
Oh,
third.
come
Why
on,
is
Jeremy. That
everyone
was a
mocking
great
me then?
impersonation. Jeremy, that was a
Hold
great
on.
impersonation,
That was
wasn't it?
actually.
You,
I had to pinch my nose and everything for that, Jeremy.
All right, thanks. I just woke
So
up.
skeptical.
Fuck you guys.
Don't
Oh,
throw
I've
in
just had a few
extra
drinks.
things
What do you
here.
mean you just
We're
woke
not
up?
making additional assumptions. All we are doing is bringing it back to base grounds for review of your process. Will you go through Druss with that? Go through this with Druss.
Jeremy, globe rotation. Yes?
No.
Talk to them.
It could be that both are moving away.
That was the third thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Good
you guys
process.
are familiar what Einstein said about this rotation stuff?
I guess he's not going to do it. Okay.
Go on, give us your interpretation of what Einstein said, mate.
Not interpretation. He said
Well, go. You tell
word
us.
for word. You can determine whether the Earth or the sky is spinning. He said that. Your boy Einstein.
That's not the.
So then why do you say we're not
One of the
spinning?
two are going to.
I'm pretty sure
The
your
rest
mate
of the
Eric
quote,
Dubé
Montreal.
wrote that.
And what did he write a little bit later on in his life after we'd actually been up into space and we got some better observations and information and of stuff that is going on? That kind of changed.
You don't even
his
have to go
paradigm a
there
bit, didn't it?
because Montreal's only given you half the quote.
I know.
Well, our boy also said the Earth ain't flat.
Your boy also said that there's a
Did he
thing
say
called
that?
time dilation.
Yeah, he did.
And the Big Bang and space-time fabric.
And
So he
we
said
know
a
that
lot
time
of crazy
dilation is a
Yeah,
thing.
nice. Go ahead, Kirk.
Hey, no need to be an asshole, but if we all think about it, we all came from Big Bang. No two puns intended.
Rotation. So skeptical entered the fray and kind of asked, how do we know the Earth is spinning? We need that information so we can pass it on to the next generation. Does anyone have any information?
Emo, stop
on...
gatekeeping the
Be done
conversation.
with SE's stupid misquote.
We know this.
Show us some deviation or something. Show us how this is
Your
fixed. Come on.
deviation.
You guys could do it.
You're deviating from the quote.
What's the
Claiming
quote,
it was
SE?
word for word, no less.
What's the quote, SE?
Show us
mean,
rotation.
that was-
Show us deviation. Show us something. And then we'll say, you win.
Chemo, he's ignoring
The
the
Earth is
question.
rotating.
That's not what Einstein said. I'm sure he didn't say that. What's the quote, mate?
Rotate. Go ahead, quote it. I just did
I'm
it from
asking
memory.
you.
Go ahead,
You're
quote
quoting it.
Since
What
you
did
found
Einstein?
something,
What
yeah,
did
go ahead.
Einstein? What did Einstein say, mate?
Go ahead, mate. He said a lot of crazy things. He said his greatest moment in the world was envisioning his friend fall off a roof. The guy was a kook. So he said a lot of crazy shit.
Right.
Oh,
so
yeah,
what
you
did
know
he,
all those-
Quote also.
this is a pointless conversation. What did he say about the spinning Earth? Can you quote that again?
No, you tell us. Obviously, I got
I
it
don't
wrong.
know it.
Go ahead, correct
I
me.
don't know
What
it.
did he say? Go ahead.
I don't know it. I'm asking you.
Then you shouldn't be talking then.
feel like
Why-
SE
why-
is
No,
gently
why
rowing
can't I
away
ask
from this
you?
hill.
Why can I not ask you? You said, did you know what your boy said?" And I said, "No." So now you tell me.
I'll tell you what my boy said. He said, "Oops, there goes gravity."
Your boy's gay.
So back to the rotation thing.
Okay,
Show
so
us
SE, since you're
rotation,
unwilling
show us deviation.
Hang on. He's answering. Sorry, SE. Everyone jumped in. Branch, stop it. Everyone jumped in on top of you, SE. Please go ahead.
What I'm saying is this. You obviously think I misquoted Einstein. Number one.
No, I'm asking you to
correct
repeat it
my
because I didn't
quote.
hear it.
And number two, no, I ain't gonna repeat shit. And number two,
all right, then
show
fuck
us
off.
deviation of your globe.
You're useless here.
And
If
you
you
win,
can't,
and we
if you
go
can't
home.
tell us, if you can't tell us what you said, you're useless here.
So
I can tell you what the
now
quote is
you
if you want me
found
to.
a kink in
You
my
seem to
armor.
need to know
This
what it is.
now you found.
You're
You
not
think you
wearing
have something
armor.
because I
SE,
misquoted
you're not
Einstein?
wearing armor.
Is this
You're
where
wearing
you are
you're
hanging
naked
your
on a
hat
skateboard. You're naked on a skateboard wearing a top hat. You have no armor on.
Dude, you're on a spinning fantasy sphere. I'm
Go
calling
ahead.
you out, and you have nothing.
Go
Show
ahead.
us
Who's next?
Your fantasy sphere.
Okay, so
spinning.
Waz, here's the actual quote. Since then, I have come to believe that the motion of Earth cannot be detected by an optical experiment, though the Earth is revolving around the sun. That's the quote.
Okay, we established.
Suck
Nothing
it.
like what he said.
Now show
Suck
us.
it, stupid earther.
Listen, you dumb idiot, Kurt.
And that was Einstein,
Show
was
us-
it? Just for confirmation.
Show us your ball spinning. Go ahead.
Jimbo, calm
Guess
down.
what, though? That quote is not about the rotation of Earth. It's about its movement in the orbit around the sun. It's not the same thing, you fucking twat.
Okay,
Well, it comes down to your
moron.
senses,
Show
right?
us
How you
all
hear
these
it.
revolutions, you cunt. Show us that we're traveling at 1.5 miles an hour
You
at
fucking
various
cunting
different
spunker.
vectors, you moron. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, one thing about senses, you do know that your senses will try and kill you, and the second thing is your senses will and prove that you look like a bunch of fuckwits, which is what's
Negative,
happening right
you
now.
fucking moron. My senses
Oh,
have
I think
brought me
Jester
through
just
life
whacked you with that one, SE.
very well. My senses
Yes,
have
he
made me
sounds
money.
very
My
triggered.
senses have found me a
I'm
woman.
sorry.
got me
SE,
married,
SE, calm down, mate.
and
You're getting
I walk
overexcited.
straight up using my senses, you fucking
This is a
monkey.
Canadian spiral.
You-
Missing.
You clowns, on the other hand, believe you are traveling at 1.5
Chill,
million
baby,
miles
baby,
an
chill.
hour while
I'm sorry, I'm
going
going
at
for a
11
smoke.
different
I'll
vectors.
nurse this shit back to health.
And of
Just
course, you're going to
because you
talk
guys
over
have
me.
big
You know
numbers.
it's
Maple
devastating
pot.
what I'm saying.
Think maple pot,
And you will
stupid
not
earther.
let me get it out. But
This
don't
sounds like a
worry.
monologue.
Yeah,
Keep
you better
talking
not get
until
it
I
out.
get my point across.
You pervert.
Keep it in your pants, SE.
Fun demuting.
Don't
This is what
expose
you do.
yourself
You
to
can't
us.
handle the truth.
Go
You
ahead,
bunch
SE.
of
I'll
fucking
make some room for you, guys. Guys,
believe
can we
you
please
came out of
let
a
SE
monkey's ass.
finish? Go ahead, SE.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Waz,
You
we could be
guys
like the
are a
guys
bunch
with the
of
brooms
idiots.
on
Oh,
the
they're not
ice
gonna let
there,
me talk.
clearing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way
yeah.
for
Keep it up.
that stupid
Kettle
metal
feet.
ball.
Yeah.
We just clear
Listen,
the way.
monkey boy.
Let's
Talking about
sweep.
curling and a
You
curling
came out
stone
of a
and the
monkey's
sweepers?
ass.
Monkey,
You believe
monkey.
you're traveling
Curling
at 1.5
stone,
million
that's
miles an
Curling
hour
stone. I thought it was called a
at
kettle.
11 different vectors,
SE
and you won't let
is
me
the
get this
curling
out because you
stone,
know it's
and we
devastating.
need to sweep the ice clear for him as he makes
All right,
his way
SE.
to the target.
Jimbo,
say-
using the air stair
Okay.
is
Hey, Jezza, hang on. SE,
sorry.
please,
Oh,
go ahead.
no,
What were you saying?
cunt.
What I was saying before I got rudely interrupted is you
You can
people
repeat it
believe.
now.
Yeah, I will. You clowns
Go ahead.
believe you are traveling at 1.5 million miles an hour at various different vectors, and you're laughing at us. I mean, come
Well,
on.
you didn't want to repeat before, but you're happy to repeat now. You're contradictory in terms, mate.
Christopher, how many clowns are laughing? How many?
Jazza, remember, you're the secret weapon here. You're our silent sweeper.
See, I know this has been brought up before, but how many vectors does any one thing experience at once?
Yeah.
Oh,
All
shit.
vectors add up into one.
Oh,
guys live
shit.
in
I can't believe you asked that.
You guys
Jazz,
live
tell-
in fantasy. The powers
Oh,
that
it's not
be
a fantasy. Vector
bank
sum
on idiots
forces
like
sum.
you to
Vector,
run the
Spectre,
world.
Hector.
No, Essie, it's not a fantasy to believe that vector sum. Vector summation is understood to be what happens at any one moment. You sum all of the forces. You sum all the magnitudes. You sum all the directions.
You are traveling at 1.5 million miles an hour right now without feeling anything.
Big number.
You have been sold.
And what do you do, SE, to believe you're not?
You have been sold a bag of
Are
goods.
you getting confused with rotation in
the
orbit?
master's
Bill of
mantra,
goods.
and you say,
No.
why shouldn't you feel one?
Saying you've been
Motion,
sold a bag of
acceleration.
Kirby snacks
Essie,
isn't
you're
proving
not even-
anything, dude.
Yeah, Essie, you're
All
not
right,
even
fellas,
getting the
next
analogy
time
right.
you
If someone
guys
sold me a
shave in
bag
the
of
mirror,
goods, that would
look
mean
in
I
the
got
mirror
the
and
goods.
ask
It would be
yourself.
somebody selling you a
SE
bill
is
of goods,
clearly
which would
incapable.
mean you got which mean you got the paper but no goods. Get your fucking
We're
analogies
dealing-
right on top of everything else.
We're dealing with a mentally incompetent man-child here. Take it easy on him.
No, you are mentally incompetent. You think you're traveling
Whatever.
at one.
See, he can't even come up with his own insults.
right now.
He's just got to
You
turn everything around and
moron.
just say it back. At least he can
Well-
hear and repeat. He's a very good regurgitard.
Settle down.
I think we
Jimbo.
need to fight this fire with
When
some
I
fire.
hear the
Please,
motion
please,
of the
Jazza,
earth, I
Jazza, go
get
ahead.
excited.
Respond. We need to fight this fire with some more fire. So go ahead and respond, Jazza. Give it to him, baby.
I really need to go out and have a quick smoke, so I'm going to take my position up on
for
the
fuck's sake.
up on the 17th story of the building. I got a clear shot. I'll be back in 2.
Okay, I would say
And just
simply
remember,
this.
while
Look,
you're doing
look,
all
look.
that, you're traveling at 1.5 million miles an hour.
Jesus.
Essie,
In what direction, Exie?
Jesus, where the fuck do you come up with that?
That's your fantasy.
That's your model, yeah.
Just let
I know
him
you
go.
think we're not accelerating.
Jeremy, question.
Makes not
Quick
a
question,
fucking
Jeremy.
difference. What is the acceleration component of that 1.5 million miles an hour?
Don't
Okay.
shoot backwards, Jazza. Don't shoot
you
backwards.
asking- listen to what he
Just like I
asked.
said,
He
just-
asked,
just
what
like I
is the
said,
acceleration of 1.5 million miles an hour? You're
Oh,
just
delusional.
like I said.
What is the acceleration of that? You seem to
You gotta
think that
watch out
linear
for that
speed is
wind
something
too, Jazza.
it can be felt as opposed to acceleration.
just like
You
I
are
said,
fucking delusional.
I'm on
Somehow,
Earth.
You think you can be traveling
I don't know
at
where the fuck
1.5
your
million
planet
miles
is.
an hour
Are you on
without feeling
Mars?
it.
Right, Jazza, you're bringing a kind of disarray slightly to the fold. We just want an answer.
I don't know what the
No, no,
fucking
no.
argument is.
No,
I just
you
want to
can't.
smoke, and we'll come back to it.
All right, we'll go.
Someone,
All right, well, go on
You
then.
cannot bring disarray to a conversation with SE.
No. Jazza is. We just want to. We want to
there was
answer
no
Essie's
conversation
question.
to begin with when I started, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Jazza. Okay, good.
Yeah, so doesn't know what's going on. It's
Oh,
a
no.
shocker.
Yeah, so Essie asks a very good question. I think a question that everybody wants to know. The Earth.
He asked a good question. I thought he just
saying
said you
you're
can't possibly be serious.
Yeah, that wasn't a question.
Well, he was telling
Go
us
ahead.
what
What's the question, Spurs?
The question is this: how can you travel at 1.5 million miles an hour at various different vectors without feeling anything?
Because you've been doing it since the
When you
beginning of
take into-
time.
Because when you sum the vectors and you sum the accelerative forces, they do not reach the human threshold for detection.
What was the fastest you've ever traveled?
Fast has nothing to do with acceleration. Fast is how you get there. So acceleration is how you get to fast. But if you are already traveling at that speed, you will never notice.
Wow, they have
You
really,
only
really
notice the
done a
change in
number on your
speed.
brain, bro. You can't go
No,
any further than that.
Essie, you only notice the change
you
in
are
speed.
Stockholm. That's all I can tell you. You are delusional.
Essie, do you notice a change in speed or do you notice speed?
I will bet anybody in here, put me on any vehicle, blindfold me, drug me, put me inside. I'll bet you $1,000 I'll be able to tell you if this said vehicle is moving or not.
Okay.
And you
What
think
drugs can we
1.5
use?
million miles an hour? You
So
don't
we
feel?
can we
You are
hang on, we can
delusional.
blindfold you.
That's the video.
Hang on a sec, hang on a sec. We can blindfold you and drug you. Did you say?
Yes, but you got to wake me up after.
Can't we just hit you on the head with a hammer?
Yeah, I was going to ask,
I'm
can
sure
you
you'd like
guess
to
the
do that,
brand of
yeah.
the baseball bat?
Gentlemen, you have nothing. realize it, accept it. You're not
Oh,
traveling.
no, we're going to challenge to beat you in the head.
million
Put you in
miles
a car.
an hour.
Well, SE,
You
there
are
are,
not
as I see, there are 50, at least 40 odd globe earthers in SE. Now, just because Curve doesn't have the answer, or doesn't have the
This
answer.
conversation's a piece of shit, Chemo.
No,
Don't try to put it up on a pedestal.
I think
it's something that can be, repaired or even worthwhile.
No, I think that
SE is a stone cold idiot. Nothing he is saying makes any sense. He cannot be educated. He cannot answer the questions put to him.
Mm-hmm.
Mock him, piss on him, ridicule him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that could really be done here, Chemo.
Yes, that may be the case.
Don't act like anything productive can come of talking to SE
Open your mouth.
other than
We have
laughing
big-
at his
Open your mouth.
retarded
Can you
maple
gargle?
sucking ass.
Settle down,
clown. All
Spurs, you
have
must
is
understand
insults.
we're
You
conversing
should have
with
stayed
him at his
retired,
level.
Kurt, you
Do you
idiot.
get that?
Absolutely. So, what I'm saying is, just because you guys, you don't have the answer for now, I'm sure, like I say, amongst the amount of globe earthers that we are surrounded by,
If we don't have the answers, what are they?
No, but what I'm
And
saying
how did
is
you
that
get them?
I think you guys are not allowing the other globe earthers who also have this knowledge, like Brian was trying to answer. We're seeing other board earthers. Litchwick may want to answer this. This is a possibility.
Chemo. They can all talk in tandem.
They're afraid, Chemo. Sense the fear in the room.
Hey, Andrea, we've got Andrea may want to answer this.
No, I just want to ask you a question, Chemo, if I can.
Okay.
What experience do you have that gives you the right to make that choice as to what's correct and what's not?
What's correct and what's not in terms of what? Science?
Yes.
Oh, just experimentation.
Oh, you're the experimentist, are you? Like you're a full-on scientist? You do this sort of stuff?
It's not
So you've done Cavendish in a vacuum then?
No, I haven't.
So you're not, you haven't. That's what you asked for, so how come you haven't done it?
It's not about chemo.
It's not about me. Can we get back to
Sure is.
Can we get? Sorry, Andrew. It was just if this is rotation is a very important point. Get back to that.
He went to rotation, but he went a certain million miles an hour. Has nothing to do with
To answer
rotation.
your question, to know something, if it's right or wrong in science, you just got to do an
Important to what?
experiment, and then obviously you get your answer.
Important to what, Chemo? What is this rotation important to?
We want to know if we're moving, right? Flat Earthers, Jeremy,
What?
do you want to know?
What? But why?
SE, you want to know? You want to know?
Why, Chemo? Why? To what end? To answer what question? And why?
For science, for knowledge, for information.
Just general trivia knowledge?
No, for the next generation to understand where we live and
What
where
topic,
we are.
though? How does it apply to flat Earth? I'll be blunt.
Because if the Earth is
Kurt,
not
you moron. You don't want your children to know if they've been lied to?
Shut up, SE.
You clown.
Chemo, respond.
Look, there are multiple flat Earthers here. Can we address those?
No. How does it apply to FE?
SE's just told you, and I agree with that.
No, he didn't. He didn't say anything.
It's about the next generation to be able to teach them the truth. So we have
No. The question is about the shape of the Earth, flat or globe. That's the idea here. That's the game. That's the ruse. Now, how does rotation?
Yes and no.
How does rotation? What difference does it make if it's the Earth rotating, sky rotating around us? To the question of is the Earth a globe or not? The answer is really, unless you want to get into hyper technical science that you're not going to accept anyway, it doesn't make a difference. You're not concerned with speed of light violations and shit. You don't even think the sky is real, for fuck's sake. But because you see a differential between the Earth and the sky, you just say, oh, sky move, we still. That's stupid.
No.
Stone cold stupid.
No. Not at all.
How does it apply to the shape of the Earth? How does it apply to the shape of the Earth, Kibo?
On the contrary, Kurt, because what we're looking at is the
No, answer the fucking question, dimwit.
Well, remember, you want us to present a model. Yes.
Fuck your model.
We don't
just
have
answer this question.
But you have a
Chemo,
model.
it doesn't matter which one's doing the motion.
Well, if you're
or
not going to let me
both
speak,
moving.
Curved, you can just talk to yourself.
It doesn't matter, Chemo. You're not answering the question, Chemo.
You're unable to withstand the answer, Curve.
There is no answer.
Oh, there are answers.
You're not giving them.
And we have answers for just about for almost everything.
How can you teach the next generation, Spurs, when you don't know anything?
Yeah.
Even Brian Mabbott said he doesn't know. When pushed to the limits, Brian Mabbott doesn't know. How are you supposed to teach anything
back
to any generation when you don't know anything to teach?
Still here as he ran him away.
Which one's moving, Spurs? Which one's moving?
So let's teach them lies instead, right?
Yes.
Let's teach them about the Big Bang and curved time, space, fabric. Let's do that, right?
How do you know their lies? You don't know their lies. You don't know anything.
Exactly. And anyone that teaches their children anything other than what we know that is proven or not proven, but you guys haven't, Flat Earth haven't proven.
Derailing again. We're talking about Earth
it's not
curve. That's a
derailing,
very good tactic. We're talking about Earth curve because that is what the model says. Your model says the Earth turns. That's your model curved. You got it. Whether you know, if you want to deny it, that's up to you. But we're told
it's observable.
If you want to deny your own model now, that's entirely up to you. But we're focusing on your heliocentric nonsense, which tells us gas pressure, it talks about curvature, it talks about rotation, it talks about the sun being the center.
Can I please talk to Chemo about gas pressure? That is the dumbest motherfucking argument we have.
We've got Jeremy. Jeremy's still here. Jeremy's still here. We've got the flat Earth is in full force, and we're ready to take down the globe right now. Yes.
Yeah. And you're not going to do it. The only reason you're going to do it is because you did believe in the Earth, as you were told. Oh, we all believed in the globe Earth. You did believe in the globe Earth because you just believed in it. You didn't understand it. That's why you don't understand.
Jazzy, you didn't think we...
If you have... No, hang on. If you have a pressure gradient on a sphere... You don't need a container. It's not science and rockets.
Well,
you do, however, in your court, you do need one on a globe. You need a fish tank around it. You don't need a dome, though.
You gonna let Jeremy respond, or SC, or skeptical, or?
Oh, Chemo, don't. You're the last one to talk about responding, good fella.
Jazzy, you definitely have a belief in your globe model, because yesterday you didn't even know that your globe model was accelerating. All right. Second of all, you definitely
it's not.
Container.
It's not. That's why we don't feel it rotating.
Earth's not accelerating in your globe model. Earth's not accelerating.
No, it's at a constant. It's at a constant velocity. That's why we don't feel it. Holy flying fuck train!
These guys don't even know their own model. Someone else agrees with them.
They have no clue.
One more outburst like that, and I'm going to have to mute you.
You have it wrong.
No, leave Jazza alone. He's very inquisitive, and that's what we're looking for, is the inquisitive.
Like Jazza, because Jazza gives the wrong answers.
No, he's inquisitive. He wants to know what's going on. Is it flat? Is it round? He says it's round. He's going to provide evidence for that, obviously.
If you're going around a circular racetrack at a constant speed, the Earth's around the sun, for millions and billions of years, just like anything. That's why you feel acceleration in your car when you accelerate to 100 kilometers an hour.
Jazza, you're wrong. You're babbling. And you're avoiding the question. The reason it's called a hat trick is because back in the beginning, the first time somebody scored 3 goals in a game, the men and possibly the women too, they just threw their hats out onto the ice. That began with hockey. That is the answer that I recall from history. But anyway, I hope that was helpful to you.
Curve's trying to derail.
No, I know. What shape is here?
You guys are afraid of the truth.
This is the question. What shape is the Earth? Is it rotating or stationary? Which shape is it?
Nobody knows the shape of the Earth.
Curved, I think you're losing it, bro.
No,
these guys don't even know their own model, bro.
Let's try to play. We talk about flat Earth, and you immediately jump to motion. You guys are retarded. You're beyond repair. Irreparable. for eternity.
We're showing you your holes in your model,
damned
bro.
to be
And
stupid
you don't like it.
all the days of your lives.
You just said that, Curve. You're repeating yourself over and over again. Now,
no, I didn't say that before. No, I did not.
Okay, so
Chemo between yesterday.
Oh, Jeremy, let's get back to the points.
Chemo between yesterday and today, we know that from a couple guys in here just now that the Earth is not accelerating, and that when something's obstructed bottom up, it's because of refraction. That's all.
This is a very painful thing for them. We understand.
They're giving us all the answers we want.
Oh yeah, we're giving you everything. All that we need to know is if the sun is going around the Earth in 24 hours, what is the speed of it going around the flat Earth?
Oh, I feel you. The ground speed, you mean? The subsolar point?
No, I'm talking about the amount of time it takes to get the sun around the flat Earth. Is going to be in 24 hours, and if the outside circumference is 60,000 miles, that means it's going at 2,500 miles an hour.
No. Joey doesn't agree with that. I didn't tell anyone this. We don't.
Then they explain.
That was just what we think. Captain
So explain.
They want to know how big the flat Earth is, so how fast the sun goes around, Jeremy. When Captain Cook went around Antarctica, how far did he travel?
Oh, it took him forever.
From where?
It could definitely be the ice wall that he was traveling around, no question.
Is there sun back there? Is it wherever the sun's going to be at? It's going to have to travel that path, right?
We don't know. We're currently in the process.
Don't know where the sun goes.
We're in the process of taking some measurements.
That's what I said, Jeremy. I told him to wait for Jeremy to get this demonstration done, and you will know more.
Once you get over there, then you can give us the path of the sun, because it ain't going to cover half the planet of a flat Earth.
Chemo, as already has been explained to you in great detail many hours ago, Captain Cook is an explorer. Explorers don't travel in straight lines. Regardless of how far he went, he didn't make a distance that you can use as a distance around Antarctica.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. So, point is then, we don't know how big the Earth is then. Nobody does. That's the idea.
Well, we do know one thing, that the sun goes around the Earth 24 hours.
Wait a minute. Don't try to turn that around and then say, no, we don't know anything about. What do we know? What were you using as evidence before you were reminded of what his trip was like? What was the distance?
No distance.
He told us 60,000 miles.
I don't even know.
A no-distance trip around Antarctica. That's your argument now.
So I went with 60,000, but again, that was just like what Doofus.
And where did that 60,000 start? Where did it end?
Doofus just said.
Let's take a look at where he went to log those 60,000 miles.
I mean, they had chronographs when he went, right? It's not like were they dropping knots, or what's the thing called, a chronograph? Where
he was sailing up and down the Pacific Ocean, the southern part of the Pacific Ocean, trying to find Australia. So obviously that used up thousands of miles.
No. When he went straight around Antarctica, what was the distance?
When was this?
He didn't do that.
Oh, well, that's what the story was. We thought.
Well, he sailed close to Antarctica. I'm not sure how far around he went.
I thought it was 30,000 miles was this whole trip, or no, it was 60,000 this whole trip.
What's that thing called where they used to keep how far they went? A chronograph?
I don't know.
Time?
How do you guys not know this?
So, Jeremy, we've been pressing.
None of us have worked on 18th century sailing ships. That's how none of us know it.
By then, didn't Cook have sextants by his day?
Yeah, but how would he have known how far he traveled?
You log your distance based upon you log your distance based upon the distance you traveled via stellar observation.
You can't get that's fucking crazy. You can't get your distance you traveled like that.
Sure you can. You're a fucking retard.
Oh, you fucking kid. By looking at the star, you can not knowing where you
find
are.
a place on the surface of the earth, you fucking monged.
I'm gonna drop you off somewhere.
They would chuck a rope out, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
that's where we get knots from, right? They had knots in the rope. See how fast the knots go out. They were able to get a speed from that, right?
Yeah, but I think that was sitting there dropping knots constantly, though. You're not, it's not like you're doing that the whole time.
No, but you check it when the wind changes, wouldn't you? Right?
Jem is correct. That's how they used to do it, and you can still do it today. Jem is correct.
Yeah, I was just wondering how Cook was doing it. That's all.
Okay, again, we're derailing again.
Probably like
that. Brenda, you can probably answer this question. We're trying to figure out how we know the Earth is turning. All morning we've been asking this question and we can't seem to get any answers. Are you here, Brenda?
15 degrees an hour. Thanks, Bob.
Oh.
Wow. So we don't know. So
we do know the sun causes
navigation
16 hours an hour.
That's amazing.
What?
I mean, Jeremy, that's something new. I didn't know that navigation didn't work. I'm so surprised. Ships just go out to the ocean and wonder where they are.
Billions of people get lost every day.
Oh, they want the navigation.
It's ironic that it's 15 degrees an hour, and I just find it funny that the sun doesn't come into the southern hemisphere summer and go, oh, fuck, it's warm, so I'll just stay around here for a bit longer before I fuck off up north.
Hey,
it's 15 degrees an hour.
Hey, EC, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yep.
Listen,
what is Jazza talking about?
I couldn't care less who you are, where you live, what you do. You are irrelevant to me. I could care less about you. Do you understand that?
I know SC. I know SC because you want the Earth to be flat.
Shut up, Jazza. Have a look in the chat, right? You dogs, naps.
You're from
cards, dogs,
me,
naps. Yep, you're in there. Look at the screenshot, EC Montreal. Your name is there in VC while she's getting doxxed. Right, Grandpa?
Oh, so my name is
Don't
in VC
fucking
while
accuse
she's getting
us
doxxed, you
of
bitch.
doxing
So it wasn't me that did it, right?
When you
it wasn't me,
are the
you
doxers.
loser.
You
Jem,
are the
if you're
doxers.
listening, you should
Your
watch
days
this queen.
here, EC,
she will ruin your Discord,
numbered.
I promise you.
Are
Jem.
numbered.
Watch out for this woman.
Yep.
She has been banned from everywhere. Watch
Banned
out for
from
her,
where? Where? Answer the question.
She is
you
a toxic individual.
Address
All
it.
she does is
Address
argue,
it.
is
you
insult
snaps.
people
the
every
evidence
day.
is in the chat.
Hold on.
Address
Just
it.
let me. Hang on. So you're saying she's been banned? Hang on. You're saying she's been banned from everywhere. She's a toxic individual, and she insults everyone every day. She sounds perfect.
Beautiful.
She sounds like SD.
You can have her.
Exactly.
Who are you talking about, Queen?
You. That's all.
You talking about Queen of Trolls?
SD just described himself with utter contempt.
EC, you're a doxer. Don't come into the server and cry about your details being doxed.
I
And the
have
evidence is
never
in the
doxed
chat.
anybody.
You
You're
guys
slandering
doxed
me.
Naps.
You're being recorded now. You are
doxed
slandering me.
Naps. It's in
Watch
the chat.
yourself.
The evidence
Jem,
is there.
watch her.
The evidence
She is a
there.
toxic individual.
The evidence
when they
is there.
cut
He
her
doesn't
up
want to shut
after an
up.
autopsy,
He
after
doesn't
she
want to
dies,
shut
they will
up
find
because the
a
truth is
black
damaging.
heart.
The truth
They will
is
find a
damaging
black
to
heart,
him.
Jem.
So he
All
doesn't
this
want to
woman
shut
does
up.
is insult people every single
You're
day.
a doxer. It's in the chat.
You are a
He doesn't
liar.
want to
I have
shut
never
up.
doxed anybody.
He doesn't want to
You,
shut
on
up
the
and
other
answer
hand,
the allegations.
You,
because
on
he's
the
guilty.
other hand, have called
Right?
people's churches, have
Shut
Googled
up.
people's names.
Show me
You
the
are
evidence.
a doxing,
Show me the evidence. You
insulting
can't. I
individual,
can.
and
I
your
can.
game will not
Let's
pass
address
with
it.
me, Queenie.
Let's address it. Mess with you. Let's address it. My evidence is in the chat. Showing
You
you
have
docs
no
next.
evidence.
Show me the
You are
evidence
a
that I called
lying,
Dave's church.
spiteful
Go, Missy. Go.
with
Put
a
your
black
fat mouth
heart.
where
You
your
have
money
been
is.
outed.
Go on. Go on.
From the day I met
Let's hear
you
it. Let's
years
go
ago,
evidence for evidence,
all you
EC.
do
Yeah,
hang around chat and insult people.
We probably ought to wrap this up, though, guys, because it is just you two shouting at each other. And
yeah, she has a black heart and she hasn't
got a bit boring.
Me. You never will.
And I'll tell you why, Jim. I'll tell you why, right? The Pinkertons don't fucking dox people live on YouTube, right? They dox Snaps, and they're a fucking piece of shit. So shut your mouth next time, SE. Bring the evidence I called Dave's church and shut the fuck up.
You called me a doxer, you lying
fuck up.
bitch.
You are a doxer.
Okay?
The evidence is in the chat.
I did not dox anybody.
It's there.
Okay?
Yes, you did.
are a liar.
Yes, you did.
You
did. The evidence is in the chat.
Everybody
the evidence
knows
is in the
you.
chat, Grandpa.
You are
Bring your
spiteful.
fucking evidence
Everybody
or shut the fuck up.
Keep an eye out on
you
me.
fucking
and keep an eye out on
hypocritical
this
pieces of
bitch.
shit.
You will see all she does all day
No
long.
one can
is
hear
insult
you.
People.
No one can hear
grown
you.
Woman
You're a hypocrite,
insulting people on the
doxing
internet.
piece of shit. You insult people on the internet every day. What the fuck are you going on about?
That's true, Essie, you do.
Yes,
Shut
when
the
they
fuck
insult
up,
me.
Essie.
When
You
they
fucking
insult
sit on
me, I
your
insult
pedestal
them
and
back.
think you are the fucking
Queen,
man.
Your
and a
game
above
is
all this
not
shit,
working, Queen.
you're not. You're a
pick
fucking
up.
Let's all work on
Yeah.
trying to be a little bit
You are
nicer.
a black-hearted individual. I expose
And
you, and I
what?
will expose
So
you
what?
every time.
So what? So what? No,
There's good
doxer.
people in this
You
server.
fucking fag.
You are not one of them.
Yeah,
You are
yeah,
a
yeah.
disgusting human
You know what
being.
I'll do, Essie? My next job, Essie, I'm going to put your fucking photo in the chat. Yeah. And Jim can ban me for doxing. And you
Did you
can get
hear that?
fucked.
Did
How's
you hear
that?
that, people?
How's
I just
that?
exposed
Yeah?
the
Please,
despicable
You
human
wanna
being
dox
that
Snaps?
she is.
Queen,
Yeah?
Queen, please.
Guys,
can
come
we
on.
wrap
Did
this
you hear
Shut
it,
your
Jem?
fucking mouth.
You
He should be banned,
disgusting
Jim.
human
Doxing's not
being.
allowed. Fuck him off.
From
he needs to
childhood,
fucking
Did this
die.
occur in our?
pleasure.
Did
Hey,
this
listen,
occur in
Queen.
our chat?
From childhood, I took pleasure
Shut
in
up, Essie. No one
destroying
gives a
people
fuck.
like you.
Stop monologuing.
You know why, bitch?
Stop monologuing.
Because
I
had a-
destroyed
All right.
Riley. Yeah,
All right.
I'll fucking
Queen.
destroy you.
What exactly? What exactly did he do? And did it happen in our chat?
They doxed live on
Don't ask
YouTube
questions.
on their stream, right?
On their stream.
Went fishing for everyone's Facebook fucking pages, right? Doc Snaps live on YouTube. Got the screenshot. It's all in there. Essie
Right.
was in the server. They're all in the server. I thought doxing was fucking not allowed. We weren't even allowed to say Rakia's real name here.
Right.
Nah.
Now, let's hear what.
It's fucking bullshit.
All
I'm
right.
telling you right now, it's fucking bullshit, Essie.
All right.
Don't fucking accuse me of shit and bring no fucking evidence when I've provided the evidence in chat, and I'll fucking take you out, Essie, just like I did Riley, you piece of shit.
Okay, let's hear now what Essie.
Can I
has-
talk now?
Yes, you can. But
Thank
please,
you, Jeff.
Queen, please resist the temptation to.
She
interrupt.
will not. She will not.
Okay, go ahead.
She is a lying bitch, cunt. She is the only woman on the internet that I've ever
Shut
addressed
up.
like that. You
Shut
are a
up,
lying
Essie.
bitch,
No one
cunt.
cares. It's
I
Just-
will expose.
Just respond.
She's
Just
not letting me.
respond to what's been said about doxing. Don't bother
Right.
with the name calling. Go ahead.
Right. She accused me of being a doxer. Right. I never doxed anybody. Maybe
Maybe what?
You cut out like a crucial moment, Essie.
Right. Maybe
convenient.
maybe this is a good point to get back to the conversation. Then, where were we?
Okay,
Um,
Jeremy.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, at this point, I'm going to take the YouTube stream down just momentarily. Should only be a couple of minutes just while I switch computers. Sorry about that, but it won't be long, I promise.
So, Jeremy, are you saying navigation doesn't work?
No, I'm telling you, you would need to drop knots or have a chronograph or something. There's no way you can tell your.
Navigation doesn't work. I can't tell.
No, there's no. I'm not saying you can't navigate by it.
Not where XYZ coordinate is, and I can't say that I got the XYZ coordinate at 10 a.m. on the 31st of January.
excuse me, Jem. Did my message get?
I
got cut off. Excuse me.
Yeah, you got cut off.
Where did
Sorry.
where did I get? I gotta finish this. Where did I get cut off? Please.
All right, guys, let me tell you about doxing, and then you cut out.
Okay,
three
can I have
words in
another
and you're
go at
gone.
it, please.
Yes, hurry up.
Thank you. Queen is a miserable, disgusting.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that.
Just address the
Right.
Just address the point, mate. Come on. Don't worry about the name calling. Just address
She
the point.
accused me of doxing. I might have been there on the server where she thinks somebody doxed somebody. I did not dox anybody. Okay?
Cop out, bitch.
No, she's paranoid. That's why she thought that. Bitch.
He's cut
Right,
out
okay,
again.
so but get back to the
Why
conversation.
don't you
now.
let me finish?
Okay, you've
cut out.
finished. You've said your piece.
No, he cut out.
No, I
again.
didn't say my piece yet. Let me finish.
I think he cut out.
For fuck's sake. Right, you've got one more chance. If you cut out again, it's tough shit. Get on with it.
Right. She accused me of doxing. She is a liar. I did not dox anybody. She is a miserable woman that all.
It's in the
yeah,
chat.
right, right. No,
Thank
get back
you
to the
very
conversation.
much.
Right,
that's the end
Bye
of
bye.
you.
Does somebody keep muting him?
Yes.
No,
I
he
did.
keeps going for the
No,
jugular.
this
It's
time I
useless.
muted him because he's just calling her names. It's stupid.
No, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We asked him to address the doxing. He said it wasn't him. He was just there when it happened. That's his response. He's just going round in a circle again. So please, let's get back to the conversation.
I mean, he's been on here for the last half hour, and all he does is insult people.
Right.
Completely pointless.
His opening line is generally an insult. But anyway,
Right,
where were we?
What shape
Back to-
is motion?
Back to Moyak. Even Jem said they were dropping knots. So I don't know what you're talking. If they could,
No, he
if
did
they
not
could tell,
say that.
if
He
they
said
could tell by
could do
looking at
that.
the stars, relax. If they could tell by looking at the stars, why would you even bother dropping knots? That's a huge hassle.
You know why they looked at the
Jem,
stars?
was Cook dropping knots or no?
I'm pretty
you need
sure.
this-
I think so. I'm not entirely sure, but
They're capable of dropping knots. They also, at that time, were using stellar navigation, which would be
Why would you ever drop a knot?
Which would be a nice backup to the stellar navigation. Was dropping knots during the day when you couldn't see the stars.
right.
Retard.
Jeremy, you need position and speed.
So you need your position, yeah. If you don't know where you
And
are, how do you,
speed.
And do you know what speed is?
yeah, can you get your speed by looking at the stars?
By dropping knots, you get the speed.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
my argument. Thanks, Brenda.
You can get your speed also by noticing that on the 24th, I was 100 miles away from where I was on the 23rd.
How do you know how many miles you were if you don't know where you are?
100 miles was distance had been covered in one day. Therefore, I was traveling at a speed of what? About
You know how many miles you went just by looking at the stars.
4 miles an hour?
Do you know what I hear when I hear the distance measurement is, how do you know many miles you were? I hear it in audio and it says, oh my God, I can't translate that into a distance. Oh my gosh.
I think the live stream is down. I don't know if you want to double.
Yeah, Jim said he's turning it off.
Oh no, it's
Spurs.
back.
It's
back.
Jim said he was turning off for a sec. So if you're traveling at 1 day a day, how fast are you actually traveling?
Day. I don't know how to answer that.
If you don't know where
One.
you're
The
going,
answer is one.
Cook didn't know where he was going. So
I
how
was
could he
gonna
have
say
known
42.
how far he traveled when he was fucking exploring?
Because
He didn't know where he was.
The angle of elevation to stars is one of the ways you can tell your distance north and south. That's what we use things like Polaris for in the north, and there are other stars that we use as well. So that's
today.
same way with the point of sunrise as well. That will tell you how far. So
That'll tell you how far you traveled.
Yeah, well, it'll give you an indicator, but the stars are much better, which is why they're generally used. And again, the idea of knots was to give you an estimation of speed, because the problem was not knowing where you were north or south, but knowing where you were east to west.
All right, so maybe someone should
explain.
explain how the knots were used. What was the knot set up, and how long was the rope that the knots were on, and how fast were they let out? All that sort of stuff. So maybe we can get some parameters
Cook
to
was
this
going.
knots
Cook was
per hour.
going. Yeah, Cook was going mostly east-west, so he would have.
No, he
needed to
went
drop
all
it.
over the place. He went round in circles on a few occasions as well.
Yeah, so what flat earthers do is they lie about Cook's journey, and they think it was just a trip around Antarctica, but you can see from the map that it wasn't.
Oh God, he did what? 3 trips And then the fourth trip was the one he died on, wasn't it?
Manfred has the. Yeah, does that look like a trip around Antarctica there, Jeremy? Is that what that looks like?
He went every fucking where.
That looks like what happens when you give me the.
Well, what was he, high or drunk or something? Yeah, what was
he was exploring mostly because that's what explorers do.
He was exploring. You doofus.
Exploring, Jeremy. That's how explorers explore.
A lot of that wasn't even mapped out.
And he was looking for new land masses.